We're gonna jam a bit on my system. For those of you who may have seen it through videos, but it's called the trust building ecosystem. And it basically trades off the currency of trust. Because my theory is that in this new age of building personal brands and modern online scammers and all that jazz, that this is the only thing that sells people. And it just, there's an endless list of why I believe it's so good. You bring in customers that feel like they're your friends. You don't have to hard close people on sales calls. People are happy to work with you. They get good results. And you build a community of friends. Like I'm going to London with all my clients, taking them out for dinner. Every single one of them is my friend. Whereas when you run these big paid ads, hard closes, you end up just building a prison for yourself where you just hate what you're doing. And that is something that I can be challenged on, but this is how I've grown my business off this. And every time I get to a sales call, someone goes, oh, it's a lot of money, but at the end of the day, I do trust you. And for me, that is like, it's just so nice to have that in business. So the ways that we generate trust, I call this the ecosystem that I have. And in this ecosystem are people just going round and round and round and round, because every touch point someone has with you, they build more and more trust. So the way we generate trust is within two ways. And in essence, I'm going to oversimplify this as much as possible, which is we generate eyeballs because people have to see us first, and then we nurture them with long form, and then we just create a mechanism where they get sold over and over and over again. They get to a point where you are like their best friend. They see you on social media. I'm sure we all have that, right? We're all so deep in people's funnels of people we don't even realize, but because they're just giving us more and more and more basically value and building that trust. And then what happens is, well, the way that we put people into this system is this way. So we put people in with short form. I do some ads, but this is very new. We can do some outbound messaging, and we also have just network that we put in. So like people that we know already. These are the ways that we put people into that ecosystem. This ecosystem basically then nurtures them to the point where they come out and they're ready to go. The next step is to basically work out like, how do you get people out of this system? So within this system, you can imagine like someone like Lee is going around and he's getting, oh, Sol's really valuable, Sol's really valuable. But we need to give Lee or anyone the opportunity to basically raise their hand. And that's what I call this line here, which is this is the ecosystem line. This is the ecosystem. My dyslexia gets challenged so hard on these days. And this is the sales system. So the hardest thing about this system is in like, if you're running ads or if you're running a pure VSL or anything like that, it's very easy to basically just show someone a video and ask someone to book a call. The harder thing about this is we need to be more tactical about how we bring people out of this system. And there are like 25 different techniques that you can use to get people out of this system. The few ways, and I can show you almost the stats on the way that we get people out, but I've made 85% of my revenue from Instagram stories, which is fucking incredible to me because like it's an Instagram story. How do you make money from that, right? Crazy. Then the other ways that you can go is basically by, what other hand raises do we find most useful? So in here, we've got like poll, free call, and just straight sell. Then we have here, we have the bio. So in your bios of any of your social media, you just want to have the ability for someone to go, okay, how can I work with you straight away? And then we have bio, stories, the rest will come to me, but basically the stories are really the main way that we do it. We're trying out a VSL now, but stories are the real key. And then we have a sales system, which is a qualification call, and we have a closing call. And then we have a few things that we do within that system that basically make that a very, very easy sales system. So that's effectively the trust building ecosystem. It's given a fancy name, but it relies on the premise that people trust you. The features of it are needing to make very good content, needing to basically give people the opportunity to do this. I guess the other way we'll talk is like interactions on socials, interactions, and then like call link, and yeah, like setting, pure just setting. You need someone in your DMs or you need yourself in your DMs. So you've got to get a very good idea of how to DM set people. And then these are just so high leverage as an activity. Right now, we're talking about bottlenecks. The only thing I wake up in the morning and do is I make long form videos and I make Instagram stories. I spend an hour on an Instagram story, which is because they make me so much money. It's so worth it.
Can I ask where the VSL comes into play?
Sure. So the VSL is something I'm literally filming, so it doesn't exist right now. The reason I didn't have a VSL is because we were just selling through stories completely. I'm now trying out that system of having a VSL, but right now people were just popping out of the system without even needing one of them.
So when you say stories, they respond to your story, you set the appointment and you close them. Correct. Do you still do a 2-call close? Correct. Yeah.
Correct. Always a 2-call close, because the reason that so I have a setter doing this right now. So I have a sales guy doing this for me right now, but I did these when until about 100K of revenue. And this was basically like just getting on the call with as many people as possible, always getting on calls with people, learning what the market, I understand my ICP because I've just done so many of these, but we want to protect this time. So this is like a 15-minute call. This is a 45-minute hour call where you really get into someone's pain. Some people go straight to closing call, but I think this is great. And what it does is we can do this if it doesn't work. Because what happens is the amount of people who have jumped on qualification calls with us, and then it's like, okay, it's not the right timing. And then we just keep tabs on them, send them back into the ecosystem, give them some resources. My time is protected, so I don't spend 45 minutes with an unqualified prospect. But then we send them back in here, more trust, and they'll be back. Because that's the confidence we have in this. The biggest, and I'll be completely transparent with this, the more I'm getting into learning other people's business models, there is flaws with every business model. I'm never going to pretend this is the red pill. The problem with this system hinges on exclusively, can you make good content? Because the people I've brought in as clients who can make incredible content just explode. Because if you have a powerful personal brand, there is nothing stopping you. I believe content is a learned skill. If you guys have some time today or tomorrow, go and scroll through my Instagram. Some of you who've known me for a long time will know my content was so bad, even a year ago, but it's a learned skill. And that's what we spend most of our time with our clients, is just reviewing their content, making their content better. But if you nail your content, this I believe is the best system in the world.
Could you define better? Are you looking at residence, production quality? What are the sort of...
No, so to almost go through the list of what people think would better, production quality, I know some people who are doing crazy numbers who just do the old talk to the phone. It is just, the biggest thing that we say is that people just don't know who they're speaking to. We'll get on a content call, we have content review calls every week, and we'll get on a call and we'll ask them just be very clear to me, who are you going for? And then we'll watch the video and we'll be like, this has nothing to do with the person you're going for.
So would you argue that it's not necessarily about making good content, it's more about speaking to the right person in the right way?
For sure. And exactly that is a great call out. That is exactly what I mean by good.
It was
Also, just from my understanding, because, when you take on clients that have never really picked up a phone, I feel like as long as the message is right, you're speaking to the right person, you can make it happen with your clients. Yeah.
We all know that people put out there this whole narrative that you can make money off a small audience, but you actually can make incredible money off a small audience. I've closed quite a few clients off a 70-view YouTube video that I almost deleted because it's just so specific. So again, good. I guess that's a good question to jump into. What does good content look like? Well, I think the first thing is very, very ICP specific. And by the way, I think we'll just roll with this basically. So just keep thinking what your questions, if you've got any questions about the system, and we'll just flow into that and we can then take over these questions as well. So the first one is it has to be so specific ICP. And I would challenge you every single time to make sure that when you're creating content that you think to yourself, is this ICP specific? Actually, Enver, the good way that I think about this is I have this module in my course, which is being told it's the best part of my course that I've created. And it has this exercise. And this is the only way, in my view, to just make incredible content. And what you basically do is you tie up two things. It's called advanced ideation, which I've just really become attached to as the name. But to kind of give you as an idea, it's like, this is what it is. So what I get everyone to do is I get everyone to write down a list of their ICP problems. I get them to make 50 of their ICP problems. And not like this person wants to be happier, this person wants more money, like deeply specific problems about what they're finding. And then what we do is we then match it to people's authority, because we all know those people who tell you, you've got to get better in life, you've got to like go to the gym, and we're like, you're fat, or something like that. Like you've got to have authority in what you're speaking about. You've got to be the person who is worth listening to in your space, which is why I hate putting money on my story, but I realized it's the only reason that people listen to me, why I started this presentation with talking about authority, because we only listen to people that we truly, truly trust. So authority. Then what I do, so think about it, we've got 50 problems here. I normally say like 25 bits of authority. And this could be literally anything from like, you won the sports day when you were 6, all the way through to you've made millions of pounds, all the way through to you have a 6-pack, all the way through to you've helped 25 clients, but something that just puts you in a kind of unique category. And everyone has them, no matter if you're literally at 0 and you've never got a client, because you are better than some people at something, always. So what we do then is we've got problems, authority, and then we just match them up like this. So you go, okay, an ICP problem, let's do fitness because it's like the easiest thing to do because everyone understands it. Fitness is like, the problem is you go and you're snacking all the time. And then the authority, or you always go to the fridge about 9 p.m. at night, and the problem is that you're like, you just hate this, you feel so bad about that fridge kind of journey that you go on. The authority is you lost 5 pounds 2 years ago, 5 pounds, or you got from this weight to this weight, something like that. What you do is you just tie them up, and then that is your hook, just straight away. That is the hook. This is the problem that my ICP has. This is why I'm qualified to talk about it. Very much, thank you very much. I'm now gonna listen to you. Now I'm gonna give you more value. And at the end, CTA, let's work together. And honestly, like if you just make every single bit of content like that, you're just gonna have inbound after inbound after inbound after inbound. So to go on a tangent, that's I guess what I mean by good content. What have you found is good content?
I actually recently watched one of your videos about how you plug the ICP into the prompt and have conversations.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
So good. Just to share light on that, thanks for bringing that up. So I have an ICP, a chatbot called James. James is my ICP. I know so much about this human being. Ali Abdaal, who's a very famous English YouTuber, has 15,000 words that he writes about his ICP, which is incredible to me. And I thought, okay, well, I've got 4 sentences in my notes page. Like, what am I doing? I need to think more about this human being. And then I was like, okay, I could do Ali Abdaal's method, but why not create a chatbot where I can have this person in my pocket and just ask them every single time, is this bit of content gonna be useful? Or like, what problems did you have today? Put up an Instagram story, just asking myself, what is James's problems today? Okay, great, I'm gonna make an Instagram story about it. We wanna take there's a thing in content where you want to be creative, but you also wanna take the creative, removal from data and from information, because otherwise you become an influencer, you don't become a business person. You think like, at the end of the day, we're all starting mini businesses or all growing mini corporation businesses. They don't decide what to post. They look at hundreds of bits of data to work out what works for them, and they all make decisions on ICP. So I was like, well, I'm gonna act like Coca-Cola and I'm gonna work with a specific person and like chat to them. So really easy thing to make.
From day one of being in your program, I've been really curious. Have you coded critical thinking into James? Because I'm thinking that you said, is this video idea good? Are you going to like this video? That just the suggested nature of the API of ChatGPT or whatever you coded it with, it's going to be like
Yeah, of course. So I reverse engineer, you're right. What sometimes I'll be like, firstly, would you enjoy this? And sometimes they'll be like, yeah, all right. And then I'll say, no, but could you think of something better? And try and get the critical thinking, because ChatGPT is like, it's a bit of a fangirl, right? Like it's very, very happy with what you're doing the whole time. The other way I think is more like, just give me a canvas already. Like, don't start with a blank canvas. Give me a few ideas to work with, and then I can pick them. For example, like James has some problems with like, one of his big problems is this idea of like drinking. So I always talk about that in my content, because James is a big drinker and he wishes he could start a business. So I talk about that. But James also has problems with his girlfriend and his girlfriend not letting him grow. And unfortunately, I don't have that problem right now. I don't have a girlfriend. So it's not something I can talk on. So that's like, it's an authority piece, right?
Why do you only have one? Why don't you have more than one?
Because then what happens when I make my second bit of content? How does the first person feel?
But you mentioned, like, I don't know, James might mention drinking a lot. Maybe if you created a different one, it would suggest different ideas.
But then what happens if so say I've got like 2 ICP to play with that. Say one of them is drinking loads and like doesn't feel like he's progressing in his life, and the other one is like a self-development freak. When I start a video and I'm like, yeah, you're out with the lads again on a Friday night, you've not built that business. The self-development freak's gonna go, this guy's business is not for me. Like they might be interested in my other stuff, but like, why alienate at one point when I can just go straight onto that person? Of course, you're risking it. Like, there's gonna be people who disagree with you anyway, but I'm so razor focused on this one person because of the abundance of people in the world. If you can just be so narrow on this person, it gives you the best chance of bringing those human beings through. But it's a good question. I think I've seen James's just come through over and over again into my program, that it just confirms that like if you're not specific about anything, then the problem is no one feels spoken to. Whereas if you're specific, people will feel like, okay, this person just speaks to me,
For me, it was more just from the perspective of, and maybe it's how I've done it, but you can put the same thing into AI twice. You could literally create 2 separate charts, and they could come out with 2 different answers that are both useful, that could both create something which is productive. That's sort of the angle I was getting.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. But then I guess like why?
And they might not conflict. They might just create 2 pieces of good content.
But the problem with that is that those bits of good content might be different to the ICP. They might be different to the person that we're trying to go for. So if we deviate and we go that way, what we risk is alienating one of them. And it's like, why not just go for one? Why not go for one human being? Or are you saying 2 different human beings?
I'm just saying, create 2, see the content or ideas that it produces. If they're 2 conflicting, then choose one or choose neither. And if they both sort of push the same view, maybe it will spark more than one idea.
Why have 2 in the first place as opposed to just having 1 then?
Because like you said, James is a big drinker, like that obviously has problems with that, but not everyone's problems might be drinking. There might be other problems, but it might be the same solution. So what I'm saying is like, clearly the drinking thing is bringing people in, which is really good, but are you narrowing down your audience too much? Without knowing. Pardon?
Then where do you draw the line?
Yeah, I mean, maybe creating 2 would be a bad idea. I'm just saying it's a possibility. You could do it and you could find that it works well. It might not work well, like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you sharing it.
In terms of virtual assistants, I mean, like, there's lots of companies now which have, obviously, AIs which have managed teams for that reason. Like, they'll have AIs which have certain amounts of content built into them, and they'll be led by a team manager of an AI, which will then pass on certain pieces of information to those AIs.
Okay. And explain the link of that to the ICP part.
Like you said, everyone's got individual problems, and it was more just from the perspective of not narrowing yourself down too much, not going too down one path, and feeding the AI with certain pieces of information and then just training it in a specific manner.
Yeah, I mean, the AI thing is almost like I'd say the AI thing's a removed part. That's like just a way that I've used to then come up with ideas. The overall concept is just this idea of having this one human being.
But when you train it, or like when you create this chatbot, what have you done? are you just feeding it with all of the information that like you think is relevant?
Sales scripts, coaching calls, every single thing, right?
Would it not work if you sort of segmented that and did have different chats, different people? I don't know, just a suggestion.
I think the AI part I'm not married to as an idea. It's just something that I use to just spark ideas. Just like, I'm sure if you created content and you put it into AI, it's like it generates okay stuff, but it's like you have to change it quite a lot. I just use it as a way to spark things for me to go, okay, this is what I need to be thinking about. The idea of being too specific, however, on AI, yes, I understand that. On ICP, I think you should be razor specific. I think you should call out what someone does at 2:35 in the afternoon, because if you don't, you speak to nobody. So like, if I don't know, I can give a really good example. Someone came to me and said, the way you spoke about getting on the tube in the morning for my job just felt like, in a video, I was like, you get on, it's hot, all that jazz. And he was like, it spoke to me so much. All these other people talk about like not liking your job, but you described my morning routine. And yes, I may say something that he then goes, oh, that's not really me. But if you're hyper specific, people feel like, oh my God, this is like me through the screen. And that's how you build trust. But I don't know, I appreciate the push. It's always interesting. It's always interesting. The AI thing, I think we're all playing around with it, right? It's like a fun little thing to go. But yeah, cool.
With James, is that an amalgamation of the most common clients that come to you, or have you designed James as your ideal client you want to be working with?
Good question. So there's actually a transformation I went through here. So it started with the ideal client. It started with when I was beginning, it was like, who do I want to have here? Who would I love working with? Who would I love having coffees with? Like, what do they look like? I basically dreamt up that. And then now recently, I've got my top 5 clients. My top 5 clients of people who get the best results. They don't ask like ridiculous amounts of questions. They're super easy to deal with. And they're also like, they're shouting about me. They love working with me. I love all my clients, but we all have the people where you're like, okay, that person is just going to kill it. I need to give them a bit of advice, that sort of thing. Call them the Dream 5, and the Dream 5 is always changing. It is specific people, but it's just like, who do I love coming through the door? And I build everything around them.
And you feed that into
Yeah.
the chat.
Yeah. I love this. The chatbot was, mate, you killed me with that one. No one watched that. No, but yeah, the chatbot is very useful, and that is what James is made up of now.
Yeah. And with the authority piece, you mentioned obviously linking the authority to the problem and linking it to the hook. What are your thoughts about documenting your journey on the path to becoming someone who has authority when you're not in that space? I'm not sure if so Alfred Robinson's video, he talks specifically about this. You either come from a place of authority and you have the experience to prove it, or you're not quite there and you have an audience that resonates more with you because you're taking them on that journey and documenting it at the same time.
I like both. I think everyone in storytelling wants to see the hero's journey, but I saw that video and I slightly disagree with it, because I think it is useful to take people through the journey, do the day in the life. I'm not opposed to that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, if you're charging high ticket, which almost everyone of us here, someone needs to look up to you. And if you're constantly, don't get me wrong, you can talk about failures, of course, because that brings a level of trust, a level of authenticity. But if you're not someone that someone looks up to, when it comes down to putting their credit card details at the end of the phone, they're going to go, well, there's someone down the road who is an absolute killer and is talking about everything that they've done to achieve a certain thing, and they're just not going to pay you. I think there is a place for storytelling and journaling, but one of the biggest things that I tell to my clients when they come in is stop talking about the highs and the lows and stop doing the day in the life. Just make specific problem-based content. Talk about your authority to talk about something like that, and people will come, man. It's interesting about that video. I didn't agree with a lot of it. But you tell me, man, like, if you work with a fitness coach, right? If he was talking about, there's a level of authenticity, but if he was talking about, this morning I wasn't keen on getting up today, and you know what, like, the day in the life of me, like, I was eating pretty badly in the morning, all that sort of stuff. Do you think, like, when it comes down to it, versus another PT who's like, yeah, like I do not necessarily eat clean the whole time, but I do also very, very regimentally have this great looking body, or I've shed this much fat in this much time, something like that. Who do you think you're more likely to work with?
Yeah, of course, the one that comes from that place of authority.
Leading question from me, but if you had said the other one, it would kill me, but.
That makes sense. I think fitness is quite an obvious example there.
So you think about you here, you thinking about how you can demonstrate authority.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Tell me about some of the, I mean, how many clients have you worked with in your life so far?
About 7, 8.
Awesome. 7, 8 clients, and you've got results within those for a few, if not all of them.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's just about how you translate that. But I think this is a good point, the problem with the authority, because the way I've been thinking about it is like a lot of people lead with, I am a X amount agency owner, and I work, and like as a hook, that just gets repetitive. But with this kind of a hook, it's problem specific, authority to give your opinion on it, and then lead into the value.
Yeah, of course.
What do you think about like breaking down beliefs in your industry as showing that you know what you're talking about for authority? Like someone with no clients, but you still could know what you're doing, but you could break down other people who are crushing it, or you could break down other people who have seen like, and that gives you authority, because someone who doesn't know what you know is watching that and going, wow, that guy knows more than me.
But the problem is they're like, who the fuck is this guy? And this is why I feel like I'm doing with my content at the moment. I'm giving really valuable information, but I don't feel like I have that authority. People don't really care. I can give a fitness coach really good advice, but because I haven't teed it up with why I have access to that information, or the lived experiences of working with a coach that's overcome that, they don't really resonate with the content and the value that I'm giving.
Can you break down your own clients' transformations or results?
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
But even with that, I think the value that you're talking about comes from the third part of that process. So your authority could be someone else who's really established, but identifying the problem that resonates with your ICP, but then the value you provide in the third part is what takes that authority and shines it on you.
Because you're showing them, uncovering how
I'll give you an
that
example.
authority figure is doing.
I'll give you an example. So if I said, Alex Hormozy is absolutely amazing at doing closing sales, and here's why, bang, 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 bang. You'll now see me as an expert in closing sales, even though I'm not the original authority.
For sure. And your audience hacking as well.
Yeah.
So everyone clicks on your video.
Breaking down how Alfie gets hard makes 7 figures a month.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because people are just seeing him crush, and then you're the person delivering the information on uncovering how. So it shows that you know what he's doing. That you can boost it more.
From the back end.
Yeah.
Would you take it one step further and critiquing what they could be doing better?
I personally would do this instead of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're good at these points.
I've
but
done this
actually
for this
they're
client.
leaving money on the table here
Yeah.
because they're not looking at it from this angle.
Yeah, because once you've got their attention and they're watching and they see you as an authority because you've told them something that they don't know, you can then go, but I personally, what I've done for my clients is X, Y, Z.
And that's the important thing.
Well, I think even you just showing that you know what you're doing and more than what they do is they're looking up to you. You know more than them. Do you know what I mean?
I think certainty is a big element of it as well.
100%, yeah.
I around 6 years ago, I used to run a lead gen agency, and I made the transition to an e-com agency. But because I had some transferable skills, I didn't have any e-com history in terms of clients, but I had the certainty with my skill set. So if the people that you're not necessarily comparing yourself to, but if you know your stuff, it's about delivering what you're delivering with certainty, and then I don't think questions start to arise about who has he worked with and to a certain extent.
100% conviction in what you're saying. Yeah. Completely agree.
Well, something that sold really on cool quite literally 2 days ago, which cracked a little bit of a shell open of what I was trying to crack, the authority and everything, and it was the wow versus the how.
Yeah.
So you told everyone in this room that you're delivering the information and they're not listening to you. If you're thinking about what using someone else's brand and commenting on it gives you, it's sort of like that wow factor that they have. Because you're looking at this big figurehead as they've got this big brand and you're commenting on them. that's the wow side of things, rather than all the information, all the different intricacies, the processes, because they might tune out. And I think that's really helped my brand as well, to just be able to focus on my scripting, just not on the actual, all the details I know as a mindset coach and how you do this. It's like, what is the transformation? What is the big wow? And I think that has genuinely changed a lot. So, good.
I think authority is a big piece. Obviously, someone mentioned it as well as their bottleneck. It's the biggest, I don't mean fake authority. It's not about lying about things. It's not about, trying to be the person that you're not. But at the end of the day, especially if we're in info, but a lot of people also have agencies as well. Like when you tell someone they need to do something because you know it's the right thing for them to do, if they don't respect your opinion, if they don't see you as an authority, they're never going to do it. They're never going to get the results, and they're not going to get the outcome that they want. I've had friends who sign people as clients, and the problem with that is the person just goes, oh yeah, he's my mate. Like he doesn't listen. Like, I'm not going to listen to them, or I'm not going to be interested in what they say. If you have that authority, it's why we do everything. It's school. If you're going to get a PT, anything like that, you have to have authority. And I love that. Such a good way to do it is just go and nick other people's audiences and then tell someone why they're doing it wrong. One of my best clients, Josh, breaks down ads for other agencies to get himself to the point, and now he's making 10K a month, he's doing awesome. But he was like, this is why Apple's ads sucks. This is why Facebook ads suck. And all of a sudden they're like, fuck, this guy knows what he's talking about. Yeah, and then it's like, oh my God, okay, actually, yeah, this is wrong. Oh, who's this guy? He knows what he's talking about. Like, he's better than all the ads agencies and all the big corporations. It's a great way. So I would recommend just ripping as many fitness coaches as possible and as many ways of doing that, and just, yeah. Another thing is breaking down systems, like the ability to break down other people's systems, the ability to break down other people's ways of thinking and constructively talk about why you disagree or even agree with them, just positions yourself as authority as well. Like, again, going back to PTs, the one that I love is this like calories debate. Like, oh my God, it's ridiculous the amount of people who are jumping on either side of the should you have calories or not. Just having opinions on that sort of thing is so interesting. And there's so much more in that. There's audience hacking, there's growth hacking, there's viral topics hacking, all of that sort of thing. But yeah, cool. Love that.
I think it's also status, and raising your status in the way that you speak to people in the DMs and setting, being very like concise and to the point, and even like getting status beyond just speaking. Exactly what Soul is doing right now, like with masterminds, because social proof. Like, I spoke at a mastermind at the beginning of the year, and they did like video, got professional photography, and it was when I was in Barcelona, and I upgraded my profile picture. I posted like it on all my social channels, and instantly my status went up, and my sales were like it was easy yeses, because people saw me as an authority because I was in a big group of people. Like, I know how to speak to people in the DMs, and then if you hold that frame, that's really what sales is all about. It's like holding that frame of like being able to speak at their language, like speak to the person because you know the ICP so well, but also knowing like, the path that they don't know.
I think having the conviction in your own skill sets and authority with that too, like you've got to know something to step up and stand at a mastermind and talk.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, and that's uncomfortable for anyone, public speaking. So it's like, not only does it give authority in other people's minds, but it gives you authority in your own mind and conviction of that frame that you can hold. Do you know what I mean? Because that's hard.
Yeah.
Like people, that's the number one biggest fear, I think, other than dying, is like public speaking.
Yeah.
So like,
I love it.
It's
like a drug for me.
But that's so cool, because what I'm thinking all the time with my content is we've obviously got this bell curve in life, right? Everything in life is normally distributed. How can you just do anything which is in the top 1%? Anything. If you're willing to stand in front of 15 people or 20 people and public speak, the fact that some people go, I fucking hate that, means that if you do that, someone's going to look up to you. And it's just, how can we stack all these bits of authority to then get someone to see you as that position? And Pedro and I, we're doing big personal brand right now, working everything on personal brand. We've been studying vlogs of people, and vlogs, like, they sound like, oh, day in the life, like whatever. If you study them, you realize they're so perfectly created for authority. a guy called Daniel Dalen, who some of you might know. Everyone sees him as this like lovable character. But me and Pedro were studying the start of his videos. Business class flights, nice watch, people running at his run club. And then you all of a sudden go, oh fuck, I've started the first 30 seconds and I already believe this guy's like killing it straight away. And it's subtle. It's not flexing Lamborghinis and watches, like that's not it. It can be it, because that works, because people are like, fuck, this guy's got a lot of money. It's why people rent Lamborghinis, because all of a sudden it's authority. That's the thing. That's the thing. So it's now like people see through that, right? But actually authority is speaking at masterminds, authority is breaking down famous figures.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I watched a video from Jeremy Hanks, I don't know if many of you know him, but he said there's 3 core pillars to how you position yourself. It's what you say, how you say it, and where you say it as well. Where,
That's cool.
because if you think about it, like if someone's watching content on a train, they're not listening, right? Because they've got unmuted. So the first thing they see is where you say it.
It's incredible. And someone, we use this incredible example, which is, by the way, girls should be should be studied on social media, because girls are incredible at social media. And the best thing is, if any girl wants their girl mates to see that they're with a guy, they'll take a photo and they'll just have a little guy's finger in the photo. And then they'll get inbound from their friends being like, oh my God, who's this guy? Who's this guy? Subtle authority, like, it's incredible. And I study girls all the time, because like influencer girls are the best people in the marketing world for sure. But it's small things like that, like just subtle stuff. And
that's what I was thinking about the journey stuff. It's not necessarily, oh, today I couldn't close this meeting. Today I had a client call, and super positive. We got this many leads in. He converted this many. Tomorrow I'm meeting a few clients. Like, it's actually showing them that I am the person that I'm talking about.
sounds like authority,
That's what I'm talking about. It's taking them on a journey.
Yeah.
And proving that I do what I say I do.
I would say that journey is just like a smokescreen for like flexing as much as possible. Like, you look at people's vlogs like Daniel, and it's like, it's so funny. There was a great video of him being like, I don't talk numbers. And then like 10 seconds later in his video, he's like, so yeah, we're kind of pushing for like 8 figures this year. And instantly I'm like, well, like that's incredible authority. And it's so well put. But if you were telling a story, which was like, so I had a client and they smashed the leads, they're doing really well. I've got another one tomorrow. I closed another guy last night. I'm like, fuck, this guy's killing it. He's an authority. Whereas if you were like, no close last night, jumped on a call, guy not very happy with me, all of a sudden you're just like, yeah, like a guy asked for a refund, all this sort of thing, like. and then it does become inauthentic. But this is the battle that I have, which is, at the end of the day, you do have to suffer a little bit on authenticity, because at the end of the day, people are just not going to listen to you. You can be clever about it. If I have a bad month, I'm still going to put it up on my story, but you've got to be, it's a framing thing. Everything is about framing. Iman is incredible at it.
Solution focused as well. Like, if you have like a bad month, we'll say it's like what you're going to do about it, and that builds authority, rather than coming on and saying I had a bad month and then you have no solution as well. So like, you can use it in a way to like still build trust.
So you go too far the other way, you end up doing like sharing the journey story, which may attract a lot of people who resonate with the journey that you're on, but they're not customers.
Yeah, especially in agencies, other small agencies or people getting started, they will learn processes. And that's why we'll be quite resistant to posting journey stuff. That's why I post actually quite a lot of fitness stuff.
Agreed. Because who's your ICP?
3-hour personal trainers on the gym floor, for freedom.
Exactly. Love fitness. They have a lot more respect for you, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you were fat, in the nicest way possible, I'm pretty direct with things I say. If you're fat, they're going to be like, well, I work with a lot of people. Like, they kind of see you as one of their clients who they're trying to help, as opposed to an authority figure that they look up to.
And also like the freedom piece, like living between Bondi and Bali, it's like, that kind of sells itself.
Exactly.
It's same with Alfie, like,
Yeah,
just
for
living
sure.
Bondi, having a 6-pack, has literally made it thousands of clients.
Yeah. Alex Hormozi's absolutely ripped. He does nothing to do with fitness, but immediately we're a bit more like, oh, you can trust this guy. It says things about, that's the thing that like status and flexes says about people, is like, still my best performing ad by far is my business class flight. I just took a photo on my business class flight, put it up. And I kind of hate it, because I kind of hate myself for being that person. But then I realized, like, well, it does put me in a certain percentage that I can do that. And it tells people something about me. As long as you're not flexing the whole time about material things, that's the sort of people I want to bring in.
What works pretty well for me is like that journey POV as well. If you like say in the way of like I was here but now I'm here, a lot of people can relate a lot more because they obviously might be where like you were and want to get to where you are. So it's more aspirational as opposed to like just flexing.
Yeah. I noticed on your story today, you're like, anybody can do this or something along the lines. You know, you're like, I'm not special, anybody can do this. And I think taking that frame of like, look, you just do these things.
Yeah.
Like, it's the mechanism. And you can really sell that mechanism.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
That's why I think like your personality and your story is so important as well, because everyone just sees from you just bombarding them that you worked a 9 to 5, you were in corporate, you were going to a job, you were wearing a suit, and now you're here. They're like, I'm working in corporate. So like it meets your ICP where they are as well. And that as well, 100%. It's like, hey, like I couldn't afford rent a year ago, but now I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Like, literally anyone can do this.
I mean, lots of people hate on you sometimes when you're just like flex, but I won't get hate on you if you're saying like I was here.
People still will.
Here. Well,
Trust
probably.
Yeah, people will. But no, agreed. Because you bring them. It's a transition. It's not a status of authority that you're just a different human being. It's like, yeah, we had the same problems and I did the thing. Now let me help you do the thing, sort of thing. Also, anything more on authority, because this is something I'm thinking a lot about right now. Go.
I literally was just about to build on Emma's point because I had a conversation with Sam in the DMs, who's in your program, and he messaged me. I have one video of when I posted in-depthly about when I was working at Five Guys, the restaurant, so the sort of I was there type of moment. And it was like, I spoke about this a lot in person and a lot to everyone else who knows me. But for the one video, he sent me a picture of him in a Five Guys hat. And I just clicked for a second. I thought, well, if I'm trying to avoid posting that story by only posting it on one video, then like I'm shooting myself in the foot for sure. And I when you switched my offer a little bit when I first started with you, it was more or less, well, I shouldn't be posting a lot of my hero's journey a little bit because my hero's journey was too close to that I was here.
Yeah.
And I was just building on this Five Guys thing up to this point. And now I need to know, how do I like authoritize, I don't even know how to say it.
Yeah.
Like, how do I build the authority to the point where I can reference that with as little footage as I've got of it, to the point where people resonate with that. I don't even know if that's my ICP. People who worked in restaurants and now own their own businesses, solopreneur, and that's normally who.
What you'll find with that, which is crazy, is that I always talk about 9-to-5ers, but I think maybe only 20% of my clients have actually worked in a 9-to-5. It's the parallels that you can draw that when you're specific, they're easy to know. So for example, I talk about hating the idea of going into work. Well, man, that could be any job, right? Like almost everyone has had that in the world. But if I said, oh, I hate the idea of going to work, but if I'm like, that feeling when I open my eyes and I know that I have to put my suit on and that I have to get on the tube, someone goes, well, that wasn't quite me, but I do remember going into KFC or I do remember doing that. And it's the parallels that you draw. So I think for you, like, always be specific on your story, because you'll get some people who are like, fuck, I literally worked in Five Guys. But then some people are like, I work in Burger King. And some people are like, I worked in 9-to-5, but it's the parallels, like the shared values between all of them. Yeah, but I think for you, storytelling works, but you've got to have it's the hero's journey, right? It's how people tell great stories. You've got to have that, okay, I was that, but very quickly I worked out how to become this, and now I am this, and I'm presenting you this person. This person was a distant memory, but it existed, but it was a distant memory.
That is exactly what I want to crack, because I wrote down when we were talking about they might go to someone down the road. It was the hero's journey means losing to the villain competition.
Yeah.
And being a hero means beating them. And I just need to figure out being a hero who quickly transitions from I was here, now I'm here.
Yeah.
Just putting that completely into every ounce of my brand marketing sales. That's what I started off with. I think I wanted to open up the room because I know there's people who have gone along that spectrum and be the hero in this scenario.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we all have stories, right? We all have the story of where we used to be and where we are now. That's why we all fucking sat in Bali building businesses, and we all were at a point where we didn't want to be there, because otherwise why are we sat here, right? So there's always talking backwards works, and it builds a lot of trust. Anything else on?
I'd like to pick your brain on something. So, what's your kind of thoughts on the way that you, the types of content that you create? Because you have these online entrepreneurs, right, that are creating these hyper-specific YouTube channels.
Mm-hmm.
It's information-based only,
Yeah.
talking about skill sets, value,
Yeah.
nothing personal. But then you have the guys who mix the two, who have a bit of emotional resonance, relatability, and they do it that way. And then there's, like, because I worked with Will, someone you've also worked with, and he told me, he said, think about your outcome, right? If you want to book calls, just talk about the systems, the value, the information, the skill set. But then I'm kind of thinking like, well, if you're only talking about information, there's not a lack of information. What I know is similar to what other people do and know. So that apart from like the way you name it, the way you position it, market it, that's different. But like, what's your thoughts on that in terms of like the blend between creating this content that has actionable, useful value for people, but also maybe doing a little day in the life vlog?
I love that. There's three ways, and exactly that, mate. I'm gonna actually draw this a lot bigger. There we go. We'll do it up here. So there's three types of content that I think about, and the reason I've drawn them in a funnel is because they depend on where someone is in a journey with you. But the first thing is share content, the second is teach, and the third is show. These are the three content types that I think about. People buy from people, and they also buy from people, but if you just did that, you're an influencer, you're not a business person. So people buy from people that they believe they like, and they also believe that can get them to their desired outcome. So they're the two things I think about. If you only do the first one, which a lot of people fall in the trap of, you don't make any money, you just get people shaking your hand and being like, I like your content, which none of us want, right? So just to break this down, first thing people want to see is that they like your value. So sharing is sharing things about yourself, sharing your personality, doing your day in your lives. I've moved to Bali because of this. I brought my family here because of this. I didn't like the UK because of this. I am vegan because of this. Anything that someone can like cling onto. And mate, I've had the weirdest things that people have like. People are like, oh, I watched your rugby highlights when you were 17, and the reason I joined you is because I liked you playing rugby. And it's like, it's incredible. Yeah, genuinely, right? It's like, people find the weirdest things. Someone told me they joined my program because they saw a story of me talking about how I train. And they were like, yeah, let's join. Obviously, it's nothing to do with my offer, right? But people want things to cling on. We all have a shared thing in this room. We all are in Bali. We all want a bit of freedom. That's what brings us all together. That's why I think you guys, or one of the reasons why you guys came. But if I was just some random guy in Bali, then it wouldn't work. The second part is the teach part, which is making content about the transition from A to B. So you've got to combine the two together. So I think about my personality, but I also have to show someone that I can get them from A to B, that I know what I'm talking about. That is mainly done here. Mainly done here. There's a bit in here, but it's mainly done here. This is why this exists, I believe, just so someone can speak for 30 minutes on exactly the thing that I want to achieve and how to do it. Wow, I'm gonna buy from them. And then the last thing, which is the thing that like so many people forget, is if you can't, so I can teach someone how to do it, but if I can't show you that I've done it with other people or myself, then why is anyone gonna listen? No one wants to listen to a PT who's telling everyone how to lose weight, but is fat, right? Like it doesn't work. So you've got to show people how to do it. And these are the three distributions of content. I call, just to keep going on that, I talk about bulking and cutting, like in terms of the gym, in terms of your content. So I talk about going for a bulking stage and going for a cutting stage. Right now on my business, we are going bulk. We're spending money on paid ads. We're going top of funnel. We're talking about this. We're making vlogs, all that sort of thing. Then I will go into a transition stage where I'll start talking about more of these two things, where I'm pumping testimonials, I'm pumping value videos. These are when you sell people. These are when you build your audience. This, you've got to shut your eyes and just not make as much money for a little bit. And this is when you get people coming through your pipeline.
It's like an awareness campaign and then a conversion.
Exactly. You can obviously run both, but like, I just think life is about chapters and life is about working out, this is what I'm doing right now. My sole focus, the only thing me and Pedro wake up and talk about every day is vlogs. Whereas in 2 months' time, the only thing I'll wake up about and think about is like, how can I make the best Miro board video where I talk about my client transition? That's almost like the earned eyeballs will then convert into paying customers 2 months down the line.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the ideal ecosystem is to have a blend of...
Yes, for sure, for sure. The ideal ecosystem, yes. Then you just have the chapters of the bulking and the cutting.
Because with paid ads, you can basically, you know, design the journey that they go through.
For sure.
Yeah, so you're not relying on what video they watch first.
Exactly. Which is why I'm jumping into it now, because it's just it keeps it keeps this flow as constant as possible. And I just run follower ads because I know that this and this works so well that all I need to do is just make sure this is constant, and then I'm rocking.
The best way is strong organic, because people who know organic can crush it better with paid.
For sure.
So you pay to get more people to your already existing organic system.
And I get a few of my clients ask me, should I start paid now? And I'm like, don't bother until you've made a few banger videos, because once you do that, you just put them as follower videos. And like my cost per follower is like £1.50, £1 for a qualified follower. And I'm like, and because all I'm doing is boosting my viral ICP videos. Just bring them in. They feel like they've made the decision to come in, as opposed to you going like, please follow me, please do this. Very easy. And then the other thing that I'm going to start doing is the retargeting within this, because obviously I can just pay to reach more people within this system. That's something new, but like I always want to speak on authority, as like I've spoken about before, and my authority is I'm trying out ads, I'm seeing how they go, but my authority is like you can get to 50k a month with just organic. So
one cool thing we've tried is with the long form, with the warm, you can try top of funnel as well, but it's been working best for warm. When people come in and they're in your ecosystem watching content, you can turn your YouTube videos into just a simple opt-in page.
Nice.
So
Okay.
you're sending them through. It's like a VSL, but it's essentially like your good performing YouTube videos. Then they put in their email, go to the nurture, put the email and stuff. But
Is that in the description of the YouTube video? Like, how does someone?
no, you take the YouTube video, download it, and it's basically giving you like unique weekly angles and pages you can put them through to, instead of like, because you can go the way of like doing a ManyChat, right? You have Instagram keyword, send them to the video, or there's the way where you just send them directly to like a landing page with the video on it.
Nice. And then, because you then control that, you own the audience. That's really cool. I like that a lot. Just getting people off these platforms, because my God, it's terrifying how much they control you. Yeah, that's really cool.
So, in my scenario, how can I decipher how much or like which parts of the journey to show? So, obviously, there's two parts of it with like your journey with training and where you came from, and like maybe injuries out of shape, and now getting in shape and running fast times and races, and like having physique and this and that, but then also the journey with like leaving corporate and now having a business and living in Bali, but obviously I'm not a business coach as such, and maybe that's a transition further down the line for like coaching other coaches, but with where the brand is at the minute, and how can I decipher like how much of that to share?
It's such a good question. The first thing I'd say, my experience of like fitness coaches is it is so driven by the human being and not the information, because you can always just find information online. So the biggest issue, before I answer that question directly, the biggest issue that I find is that fitness coaches believe they need to share the 3 ways to get bigger biceps. And it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work, because like I can just chat GPT it at this point now. So that's the first thing I'd say. But to answer that question directly, think about through the lens of your ICP. So are you going for someone who wants to take their training to the next level, or are you going for someone who wants to, walk in the gym for the first time?
Now, like most of the people that come here are on a pretty high level, and so that's the type of content that I put out, it's not surface level stuff, it's quite advanced.
Nice. So then the journey is thinking, okay, so if they're at a high level, are they working in jobs? Are they running their own business?
I think nationally I've struggled to get a lot of people who are wanting to travel, who are wanting to start their own business, or who already have their own business, because that's sort of what I'm doing, which is quite good because they're pretty dialed, and they're perfect.
So like I think about like everyone's stories like this, right? Like from when you were born to like now, and we've all had like thousands of life events during this part, and you could talk about any of them because all of those are going to have sticking points for some people, but you just want to be super selective about the ones that you choose, and the way you select them is just with this part. What is really going to resonate? So you talking about like you know, I went to Australia to run a race and then I'm back in Bali, and like you're traveling stuff, awesome, because your ICP is interested in that. Whereas maybe you talking about like, oh, you know, the struggles of an online business owner and that sort of thing, not so interesting, because maybe someone is not running their own business. So it comes back to that hyper specificity of what your ICP is.
And then it's also just like what's the end goal with the content? Is it to build my personal brand, or is it to take any more coaching plans?
Why can't they be linked?
Well, I mean, yeah, of course, but yeah, it's probably just me thinking of like my next step, and also maybe transitioning a bit more.
Yeah.
Bigger things.
Do you think you transition to be like business coaching coaches?
It's probably a natural progression, because I feel like I'm on quite a high level, and maybe I have a bit of a limited belief that I don't have quite the authority just yet because I'm not taking X, Y, Z. But I mean, it's going to need to be a few steps ahead of a coach that's here or that hasn't started as such. So,
Well, someone coming in is making 0.
exactly, or even someone that has like 20 clients, you know,
Yeah.
it's for sure like I can definitely get back.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that is probably a natural progression for me, but it's just a case of do I want to leave it on that, or do I want to leave it more on the virtual? I mean, probably
Yeah.
50%. It's just about getting the systems and the structure in place. And
Do you think that you could do both through the same?
Emma, what do you think? Emma's done the transition pretty recently from coach to coaching coaches. What do you find?
In terms of like content.
Yeah, how do you, because you've got 60K followers, how did you find the audience within that transitioning over to?
Yeah, I suppose like for the first like couple of months it's going to be a little bit like people kind of fizzling out in terms of people who have no interest in business. If you start posting business, like, but that's what you want anyways. If you want to get, I suppose, well for me anyways, I wanted to get like ICPs like mainly focused in my following as well. But I think after 2 months, then new people will start coming in that's like more specific to like where you're going next as well. And obviously they'll be the people that I target the most. But like it just went from, because like even with mindset, like it was all about like my journey, like my personal brand as well, and like me. So it was just a matter of transitioning like the value from mindset based to business based. So it was like, say I post like 7 in a week, probably about 3 or 4 of them were like mostly attraction content, me, like my personal brand, and like 3 of them were like value based around mindset. But I just changed like those 3 now to like business value instead of like mindset value. So I suppose that's kind of how I did it. But I started off kind of doing like 1 and then 2 and then worked up to 3 as well, so it wasn't like a huge transition straight away. So kind of like feed.
Interesting. I'm actually surprised that you didn't start a new Instagram account. Actually, that would have been what I would have done. I don't think it's an issue now, but
over and back between it for so long, and I was like, yeah,
Especially
asking different people's opinions, because I didn't obviously like, I want to call it constant fallacy or whatever. I didn't want to like ditch my 6,000 followers that I just built over the last 2 years, and there was like still probably at least like 20% ICPs within that as well. And if I wanted to maintain 2 accounts, obviously that would have been like pretty heavy work. So I was over and back with it for ages. But I have created a separate business account for just like testimonials that's going to pump as well.
I would also create a YouTube video of just business as well and do that. Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Cool. Yeah. It's an interesting one. I mean, like, there's a great story that Iman has started a new new business one, Serge, a new business one, Charlie, James Smith, and they have got 400K subscribers on one channel and 2K on another channel, and they make more money from this one than they do this one, which is incredible. It just shows like, if you just fill your audience of these people, like, doesn't matter. So yeah, onto your point there, I'd say show your personality. But man, it depends what your goals are. It's a bigger question, right?
that's something that I'm still trying to fully decide on. You know what I mean? It's like, for sure, I think I can make the business coaching work, but also I'm sort of pretty keen on pouring my energy into sort of building the brand and not just changing from 60, 70 athletes that I coach to 20, 30 business coaches that I want to coach. You know what I mean?
How many followers do you have?
My following's quite small. I'm like 5,000 or something.
Start a new account with business.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just that's the
And then
thing
you just
where
gotta
like,
think of
do I want to focus on my time and energy on that, as opposed to like keep the coaching plans that I have, build the systems so that I work less and can make more money, but also build a personal brand and like long form and like work for like a future where I have like, you know what I mean?
I just think it's so important to work out what you want, because like
I want more freedom and more time and be able to just do what I want when I want.
And why would fitness not allow you to do that?
I mean, I think I can with the right systems, which is something that I obviously need to put in place to continue to grow further. Because I'm probably at a point now where like making good money, but also like kind of scared of the next level, like internally because it might be more work, or I don't have the systems and the capacity for that. And maybe that'll take away from me potentially grow on YouTube and the podcast.
Yeah.
For me as a brand as opposed to like a business. But I mean, I suppose like you said, I want to both.
Yeah, and I mean, you see a guy like Mike Thurston, he's never gone into the business coaching coaches. Like he's stayed and he does, I mean, you went to one of his like mindset masterminds, like it wasn't really fitness related, right? And he's like, you can grow the brand in other ways than the B2B coaching, which is more aligned to the brand you're building. But I just think starting a new business, starting a new account is literally like starting a new business. So you have to be so careful about whether you're gonna keep building this, but doing another thing. And unless you've got a team that basically run this all for you, you're just gonna fuck both by going to both of them. It's like, I saw a good video, I can't remember who it was, that said like, if you're moving into that consulting, that coaching coaches, you have to like say goodbye to the old model. You just have to like burn that bridge.
Yeah, and then it's also just the part of me is that, I'm enjoying like pushing the limits of like what I have with my athletic potential, and like I want to focus a lot of my time and energy on training twice a day and this and that, and documenting that, and I feel like that could be something.
Bro, get a videographer, get him to live with you, like become a massive name in the fitness space, and then think about transitioning. And also like you'll make a lot more money doing it, the coaching thing, if you're at the next level, right? Yeah. And it's so fun. Like Pedro and I were just jamming together about basically like filming my life, and just he's flying with me to Switzerland and stuff. It's awesome. Like it's so fun to do that. Like you've built such an awesome beast. Don't like, if you're that next level is the best part. It's the fruits of your labor basically. Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
I'm not sure if it's similar, but it's like that's kind of where I'm at as well. Like I've like hit a certain revenue mark, but I'm like, do I fuck it? Like I want to know the right steps in terms of hiring and removing myself into it. It's like when it obviously becomes more responsibility and like more leadership, and you have to manage more people, and it's like nerdy. But for me, I've always just been scared of like that next level of responsibility that comes with obviously that next level of scaling.
But it comes down to what you want, because I think that is so true. Like hiring has been one of the hardest challenges I've ever had, but it's also the most fulfilling thing. After client results is the second most fulfilling thing. But it depends what you want. It depends whether you want a lifestyle business or whether you see these guys who are now starting to build like corporations from info products. Like it's also possible. I don't know. I think not enough people do enough work about what they want to do. And I've thought a lot about that, because every decision you make, like even the paid ads conversation, like if you start going hard on paid ads, you are building a bigger business that you need bigger sales teams, you need all that stuff. And like people forget that. And then all of a sudden they've got this paid ad system, and then they're like, fuck, I only wanted a 3-man business where I don't have to do any work. And that doesn't come with that. So it's like, yeah, future pacing. We can definitely go on to hiring and deep dive on that for sure.
Yeah. Because people by default may not have a great understanding of what they want, when you reach ideally what you roughly outlined as what you want, to the people in the room that have got there, how do you feel when you have gotten there? There's always the feeling of wanting more, but I feel like there's a problem here to solve where you can actually not want more by clearly defining what you want. But I want to know, what is people's experience of not clearly defining what they want? What has been the cost of all that? Because I feel like there's a massive
Not feeling fulfilled, no matter what mine's doing.
Nice. Anyone else? I'm sure
Yeah,
people smash through goals.
I used to be in that bracket of when getting to 10k a month was this amazing thing. What I ended up doing was actually not wanting my own goal, it's wanting what people are telling me I should want. And I hit 10k, but I didn't hit 10k with, it was kind of through like force and willpower. It wasn't really as a byproduct of becoming that person. So what happened was I ended up kind of self-sabotaging myself and going back to square one, and part of that was having like a disconnection with the goal itself. And like what you're kind of saying is, I think in my opinion the best way to do it is reverse engineer the lifestyle that you want.
For sure. What do you, that's my sales things, like what do you want in 6 months time? What do you envisage, like where do you have your morning coffee? Like with who? What's your tasks for the day?
Yeah. You see all these cool people doing cool stuff, but I don't think you'd actually want to live their shoes. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just, everyone's different. You just got to get clear on actually, and sometimes you're not going to be clear on what you want from the get-go. You know what I mean? You have to sure. Like me, maybe you have to do the thing, fail it, and recalibrate. Yeah.
Find out what you don't want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's a great one. I love that. That's so good, because what you don't want is a really great place to start. Like, reverse the negative. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. What you don't want. Yeah.
I think like doing is the best way to like actually realise that as well. Obviously, you're never going to know that unless you do it. Like I think it was like January 2023, I got my first 10k once, and similar, like I just self-sabotage. I took on like way too many clients. I was doing 20 hours call a week, and I was like, I hate this, like I hate coaching, but it wasn't actually that I hate coaching, it's just like I didn't have the right systems to actually handle it. So I had to like go back then to go forward again. So I think like it's a matter of like that's just lifestyle. Like what is my dream work day, and like how do I hire the right people and create the right systems to actually make that my reality.
The natural progression though is that if you just work at something for long enough, you will achieve it. If you just stay in the game, like just don't quit and you will achieve that. So then it's like, and as humans, we always look for the next thing. But what I've found works incredibly well is reflection and just time alone. And like, so when you take that moment in, when you're actually physically there in reality of not always just thinking, oh, what's the next time? So actually planning time to think like and reflect and journal about how far you actually have come, and maybe even taking videos is massive of like, and looking back.
It's his unique mechanism how he sells. Yeah.
And I wanted to ask this question specifically to help more people, because everyone has this problem at different levels. And I'm just trying to create an equation basically. So finding out what you want is finding out what you don't want. Using the equation of that plus stay in the game plus present moment reflection, I think I've cracked the code to like $1 million a month here.
And fulfillment and happiness. There you go, man. You said it here first.
But like you will always want more. You just will. As a human, you will always get it. Like, and it won't probably feel as good as when you imagine getting it. But what that 10k a month, for example, allows you to do is to have choices, like we were talking about, right? And that, like, when you're there having a nice dinner with some friends and you're paying more for this dinner than what you would have for like a week of food, like, just think like,
Yeah.
me would be so
It's a
proud
journey.
of this moment.
I think
Yeah.
remembering the why as well, because like even there was a period in business I got so caught up in like the growth and like revenue and figures and money, and then I really forgot like why I was actually coaching, and it was the impact I wanted to make and the purpose and the freedom as well. So like coming back to the why and like why are you doing it every single day, I think that really helped me as well with just like enjoying the day to day of actually coaching and doing what I do.
When you think about it, there's actually never any outcome, right? And you hear this cliche thing, it's like, focus on the process, but when you're so focused on the outcome and you pedestalize that outcome, it's never going to meet your expectations when you finally arrive at that destination. That's why, and I mean, you hear people say it, but until you actually experience it yourself, it doesn't really click. But that's definitely what happened to me when I hit the first 10k. It was like, I almost, to a certain extent, enjoyed the pain of the journey, like that. Yeah, just that process of like becoming better, improving everything about me, who I am, my identity. Like, that was a fun process, and it's like this idea that you can. For me, it was crazy. But when I first learned the concept of like identity, right, and the fact that, as cliche as it sounds, you can become who you want to become, right?
Yeah.
That to me really stuck, and yeah, I think the process and the journey is everything. You know, you can work towards the outcomes, but what really brings you like the fulfillment and the pride and the sense of achievement. And I heard a guy that said it gives you that twinkle in your eye. Like, you only get that from actually doing the thing, right? And becoming that person. And that's something that, you know, I don't think any destination can replace.
Yeah, agreed. And I was talking about it with a mate the other day, and you touched on it before actually. It's like, the person earning that $100,000 a month, would you want to be in their shoes, or could you even be in their shoes? Like, if you got given that amount of money, revenue per month, like, would you be able to handle the stress and the responsibility that comes along with that? And that's the actual fun part, is reflecting on who you had to become to earn XYZ outcome, destination, whatever you want to call it. That's the whole fun of it.
I love it. Yeah. It's why we're all doing it, right? It's why we're all doing it.
And that's why it's not probably for everyone. you know, because you do have to love the journey. You have to just get up and solve problems and deal with stress. And the more stress that you can deal with, the more problems you can handle, the higher you can go.
I have a question for you on that note as well. It's like, obviously you've grown so fast from like January to now, but like with that note, it's like stretching your capacity to hold like what you've actually built and like the stress that comes with that, and like obviously naturally no problems and solutions to problems, but like how do you find the evolution of like obviously scaling so fast?
I think I love business so much. Like I wake up and it's the only thing I think about. So therefore, I love what I've built because the only problems that I've got are problems within my sphere of love and interest. So it's like the greatest problem I have right now is leads. Well, my favorite thing is working out how to businessly get more leads. So I love that. The quick growth has definitely pushed me because I believe we're all this human being and we want to be this person. And we basically imagine being that human being, and then we have to imagine it before we become it. So I was sat in pubs in London when I was making no money, I didn't have a business. I was like, I'm a 100K a month business owner. And I was like, I was imagining that. But the problem with that growth is I hadn't actually adapted. I didn't have the mindsets and the beliefs of someone who was making 50K a month when I did it in March for the first time. I didn't know how to hire people. I didn't know how to manage people. I didn't have the abundance growth mindsets. So I grew too quickly for my brain to understand how to act as that person, which was a fucking nightmare. And it was a tough month. That's why I did like 10K the month after, because I just was like, oh my God, how do I do this? But the way that I've reasoned with it is that all I need to do is imagine the human being that I want to be and just act like them. Just pretend that I'm that person and just like wake up. Like I hosted my first mastermind when like, I know I'd done all right, but I didn't really, I probably didn't justify a mastermind at that point. But I was like, what would a 100K a month business owner do? He would go and host a mastermind. What would like when I flew, like Pedro and I talk about flying business class back home, like, is it sensible? No, but I'm a 100K a month business owner. I can do what I want. So and then I'm like, oh, this is kind of funny, right? Like I'm this person. And that's the frame that has helped me through everything, is just pretending I'm that person and just having this fun game where it's like, yeah, I'm that person. Yeah.
So your brain can't tell the difference between an imagined scenario and a real scenario, so you're used to obviously the experience of like what it will be like when you get there as well.
And then the great thing about it is you become that person a lot quicker as well because you're acting like that human being. So it helps a lot. But yeah, it's been rocky for sure. But it's also, I wouldn't change it for the world.
What was the rockiest and most scariest decision that your 100K a month business owner person did that you had to do?
Like cutting into my margins. The hardest thing, I turned around like maybe a month ago and realized my wage bill was 10K a month. And I was like, oh my God, so I have to make 10K this month. And bearing in mind, I was imagining being a 100K a month business owner, but I still had the mindset of someone who was making like 5, 10K a month. Really, I still don't believe that I'm not a corporate worker. In my heart of hearts, I still wake up and think I'm gonna have to get on the tube every day. So I think that sorry, the question was?
What was you said it's been rocky. What was because obviously everyone goes through scary moments trying to be this person, that's my offer. Yeah. It's like when you're trying to push past all the scary things, picking the biggest one and realizing that a 10K a month wage bill isn't anything to this person, but it is to you. How do you just connect the dots here?
It's just that having the pressure of other human beings under your, like, if I don't make money, if I don't make good content that doesn't bring in clients and bring in money, then there are human beings who literally will struggle. And obviously you then work through that and you're like, they won't struggle. And at the end of the day, they know what they're doing because they're an employee, all that sort of thing. It's the same as every business. But that was a big hurdle for me. But one of the biggest things I realized, I'm keen to hear everyone's thoughts on this, is I thought that the hardest or the biggest swing you'd have to make would go from 0 to anything, like just that first thing. I think that is the hardest, but at the same time, like if you want to get to 100K a month, if you want to get to $1 million a month, which is where I want to get to, you have to take equally big swings and equally big risks, like having a 10K a month wage bill when you're like, oh, well, I have got to make money. And it's the same nerves come in. And then at 100K a month, it's probably like, do I invest in this massive ecosystem or do I spend money on this coaching program and all this sort of thing? It's like, there's always swings to take. You're never not pushing yourself out of your comfort zone.
Right. I really wanted to ask this question because I think what I've just done is really silly, but also something that my perceived person does. For example, I had all my clothes, my washing machine in my bed is not working, right? And
I look forward to hearing where this is going.
Literally, and I went to go put all my laundry to the laundrette, I dropped it off. Sounds like a really privileged problem, which is another thing. But anyway, I then was like, well, I don't have any nice clothes to wear to the mastermind. I had this shirt, and then I was like, well, I really don't have anything that I don't think would work. And then I thought to myself, well, do I just go home and like fast track the laundry with the woman at the front desk, or do I go and buy something? So I thought, right, I'll buy something. I go into this store and it's what I'm wearing here, but it's like this.
Let's go.
this whole thing was like, this price tag right now is a bit ridiculous, but I'll buy it anyway. And after it, I was like, shit, I'm just gonna do my budget for the whole thing after this. But I bought some shoes, which are like basically Birkenstocks and these. And to me, like, that is what that person would do, like it was nothing. But to me, this still feels like it's that, even if it's small something as buying clothes.
It's money abundance, right? It's like, I'm sure we've all gone through it, right? It's like, I still hate buying software for like £20 a month. I hate it so much, but like, yeah, it's that pretending money doesn't exist and then it suddenly comes to you, law of attraction, right? Yeah, awesome. Go.
I would say do more of that.
Yeah, I agree. Sure.
Genuinely.
Sure.
Don't just be an idiot, but like do more of that. Like I used to do the same thing, bro. I would never buy water. Like I'm not buying something that's just free in Australia. Like, but as soon as I started buying water, like I would just make more money. It's legit, because the things that, or like pay for the express laundry, or like the things that we don't do that $2, $5, like just do more of those and it will start to rewire your brain that this is just going to come back. I can actually get the things that I want. Like if I'm thirsty, I'm going to get a bottle of water. You know what I mean? And the more that you do that, the more that your brain will just rewire to abundance that this is going to come back, and somehow you just start making more money, bro.
Water's funny because it's such like a menial thing, but it's just a repetitive reminder that you are the person who wants to be.
Bro. Yeah.
And if you're a thirsty guy, you're going to be
drinking. Yeah, exactly. Exactly right.
I love that.
I love that. But I say that to a lot of people when I meet people who are like trying to like chump change and all that sort of thing. I'm like, the biggest thing you can do is just start spending more. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. Okay, I love this. We've probably got like 20 minutes until food is ready, which is cool. I think the best way, I love the mindset stuff. That's so cool. Normally it's a really cool way to finish. So I will park that for a little bit and go back into that right at the end. What I want to do is make sure that we go into one more topic before we eat, where we can really delve into like tactical business advice. Then everyone can collect their thoughts and have a bit of like okay, this is what I want from the second session. This is what I'm missing. This is the questions I've still got on my notepad. And then we can basically do another jam and then finish off with a bit more wholesome mindset stuff. So I guess looking at that system, because, oh my God, there's so much more I could speak about. So I'm just keen to basically hear like, just someone chime in and go, what don't you understand?
No, it's just a little question. So you right now take 2 calls with the qualification call, right? So with the stories, when you say free call, is that just a marketing frame?
Yes.
So, right, okay.
Yes, marketing frame, but that was my single best converter, because what I like everything in business, I discovered it accidentally. I was like, how am I gonna get more people on call? That was my bottleneck. And I was like, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run call after call after call. This was before I even really fucking knew what this was. And I was like, just gonna run call after call after call. And someone jumps on the phone and they're like, I need help with because I started just helping with people organic before I went into basic business coaching. And I just did organic and I was like, okay, you need to do this, talk about this framework. And then at the end of that call, someone was like, do you have a program, by the way? I'd love to buy from you. And I'd be like, oh, mate, this was just a free call. Like I'm like genuinely, and that was authentically a free call. And then I was like, well, this is a sales process that I can set up now. So it then reverse engineered the idea. And that's what all of these, I think that's my job really, is just to test systems and decide what works and then basically show them to other people. So it works so nicely. And then the close rate off So I do like roadmap, it's my CTA, it's like what I put on my story, the closing rate of people who come in. We waste a lot of time on these calls. The close rate of this call is awful, but once they're here, they close it's a very high percentage close rate.
Which one do you find is working best for you with the stories, cold, free color?
So I drew this on my, I'm gonna keep this up. So I drew this on my community call the other day, which is basically this idea. This is the messiest whatever, let me just get rid of a few stuff. But I basically, the answer to your question is, it depends what your aim is. Because with any story, there's like a scale. And this is like sell, and this is like convo. And what will happen is like, I have a range of different ones that I use. I've got different tools in the toolbox. So this one here is literally like me put up a story being like, I know you've been watching me for ages. I know you want to work with me. Reply this message and I'll send you the payment link. Like literally as much as that. And this one here is I put a story up where I'm like, DMs are open. If anyone's got any questions, then let me know. Obviously with this one, you get like 1, 2, 3, 4 people. With this one, you get 100 people, but this one collects much more money and this one collects no money, but it starts conversations. So I just literally have a conversation with my setter and go like, do we have a load of conversations started? Okay, if we've got loads of combos going, let me just do this. If we need more combos, then it's like, let's light that fire. Let's get more people over this level. Tactically, let me like almost fill in the ones that work really well. So polls are really good. Polls are a great way to get people started. Just ask people like, what are the 4 problems that you have? Or I don't know, like just trying to understand my audience more. Like, where do you come from? For you, it'd be like, do you struggle? Like, what's the biggest thing you struggle with in the gym? Allow someone to vote. Don't ever have a no option. People do that all the time. Doesn't work because like if it's no, it's not a lead. This one's like sticker. Have you seen the like Instagram have newly released like a sticker that you can like tap on? That's really good. Like just having, it's so low friction. So that's really easy. This one is like the roadmap call. So give someone like an audit of something. Like a few of my clients do like nutritional audits or something like that. So that helps quite a lot. I'm trying to think what other ones I do really. Can you think of any that I do? I can't really remember any more.
Results, CTA.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, it's basically like giving something away for free. I guess, the other thing is YouTube videos. That's a great way to do it. So I'll like give away something and all it is just to start a conversation. Because I think like this ecosystem, the problem with organic is you just have no idea what's going on in here. You're like, oh, there's loads of people in here, but I don't know. And all I'm thinking about is like, how can I extract people out of the audience? How can I get someone? The other thing that I love, which I've discovered recently, is this idea. I think this is almost like here, is on Instagram, and this is very specific Instagram advice. I've got a few more tips for LinkedIn, but Instagram specifically, every time you, like when you post your stories, they are showing you your top 10% of fans. So you have like, I don't know, 10,000 followers, for example, and you might get 1,000 to 3,000 story views. Well, Instagram only wants to show that to the people who are your biggest fans, who are gonna appreciate it the most. So we just went through the other day and we were like, let's just go and message not every single person, but a lot of people within our Instagram story. And then we were like, great, they're all the most engaged leads. It's like working out who in your audience is the closest to buying on their journey, leaving the rest alone and waiting for them to keep going around here, and then just working out like who's here. I think.
The thing the other day as well on that, the last 2, is you put a sticker up and then it obviously tells you who has clicked the sticker, and then message all the people underneath it who are the top viewers that always view your stories and say, hey, I saw you tap the sticker, and they'll think that they accidentally.
So good. Yeah.
Even though it's called.
Yeah.
most recent viewers.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's like just tactically thinking about that. And that's why Instagram stories are the best thing. I think they're going to start getting saturated because everyone realizes how good they are now. But just any way to then start a conversation with someone, any way for someone to put their hand up.
Do you have any lead magnets aside from YouTube videos or just starting conversations?
Yeah, so we have set up like this intricate ManyChat system, which basically is, so we send every single follower a video of me. Some of you maybe have got that video. And it's me going, oh, by the way, do you have any help that you need? So that's like step number one. So we send someone something, or someone raises their hand and asks for something. It's like, we call it like the engagement. So engagement. So someone says something, and then we have like multiple options. One engagement will be they ask for a lead magnet. So I'll put it up on my story. Every single post that we put out there, which is actually something we need to chat about, with every single post that we put out there, in the caption, it will say, so say it's a content related video, it will say, by the way, comment content, and we'll send you over something. If it's a system related video, it will say comment system, and everything is linked back to a ManyChat. And then obviously that will be the engagement. So to answer your question specifically, we have almost a library full of YouTube videos, a few documents, a few like guides, just basically like a spectrum of things. Because all we're trying to do, remember, is get people across this line. So we just need people who are engaged. So they engage, and then they get sent something called a mini VSL. So what I have is I send someone in the chat a video of me. It's like a landscape video. It's a 2-minute video, and it goes, by the way, thank you very much for enjoying. Actually, no, sorry, there's one more step between this, actually. We go, system. So someone will engage, and then we're like, okay, someone will engage, and then we're like, okay, this is overall part of a system that we help people scale online offers. Would you be interested in that? If you are, then please reply the word trust. And then they'll reply the word trust. And then we send them a mini VSL. And that video is basically a client results, a bit of a sell. And then that automatically, if they reply demo to this, they then get chucked into a demo call. So that we've basically built, and I genuinely don't think anyone else has done this on the market, is basically built a system that from every single angle that someone interacts with us, or barring a few, every single angle where they engage with us in a comment or a story swipe up, they go through this system, and we've probably closed 60K of people who we have nothing to do with them booking and going through the system. Correct. A bit of Zapier and ManyChat. Yeah.
What are you talking about in the mini VSL?
It starts off with me saying, my name's Sol. Thank you very much for the engagement. I do this. We have helped loads of clients. Here is, and then I go through a slideshow of this person, this person, this person, this person, this person that I help. And by the way, if you're interested in booking a call, just say that. I'm not.
Engagement first.
If they comment on, so basically if they ask for any resource, if they swipe up on a story and they say a certain word. So therefore, I guess above this is stories and reels.
Is this the Canva video?
Yes.
Do you get your setter to do something similar, or do you get him to send just messages? Do you get him to send out a video of himself, the first engaging video that is done?
This is all done automatically.
But then say for your setter, when he's setting, do you get him to go through something similar, or just send him messages at the end?
Set with messages. So this is the way I think about it is we want to give people as many options as possible to book in a call with us. So the first option is they comment on this and they just fill straight through. They just they say trust, then they say demo, then they're booked in a call, then they're booked in a closing call, and then they close. Some people we all know take a little bit longer. So the other thing that we do is just have those conversations with people. So we've got maybe 50% of our audience or 50% of my DMs are just this automation running, and the other 50% are basically setting conversations. And I looked at my analytics, and it's basically 50-50 on closing, how we close people. But I'm a big believer in speed to lead, and that's why we get a setter, right? Because we don't have enough time to do it. And the amount of people that we have booked in, I'll probably just look at my phone right now and there'll just be someone who's booked in, or when my setter's asleep in the UK. And that is because we want, when someone is the most warm, you just have to give them the opportunity to book in. A friend of mine just drew a very simple graph, which is when someone engages, this is the sales line. This is someone's journey, and they're above this line. When they book in, they're or when they send you an interaction like this, they're up here. When they watch this video, they're up here. And we want to basically make sure they pay money before they get below this line. So anything you can have that speeds up the process is great. And I was like to my setter, I'm not going to expect you to look at my Instagram 24/7 like your whole time. So we need something that covers your out of hours.
Do you find that people who see that and don't book straight away, is there like a drop-off rate in them engaging after that?
No, because I've effectively just given them another YouTube video to watch. So they're immediately like, fuck, this guy has got all these great results. And then when they're watching this, they're watching it within the context of watching this video.
Do you find that not everyone says trust though?
Yeah, of course.
And then do they just chill there until they interact again, or the setter reaches back out?
Yeah, we'll reach out quite a lot of people. Like yeah, exactly. They're in the ecosystem. We want to give someone the opportunity to slide straight through, but quite often people will take a longer route. But just touch points, right? The more touch points possible. It's so funny. Like someone just, I mean, the stat is someone needs to watch 7 hours of your content before they buy. The idea is basically how can we increase touch points at all times with people. And that's like, this works so nicely because they go back in, but they're more primed, they're more ready to go. This is fucking complicated though. This took us a lot of trial and error to set this up and a lot of ManyChat systems, but it's been worth it.
Completely AI automated. Yeah. So you have your setter and you have the chatbots.
But it's actually not a chat bot, it's just a load of ManyChat automations as opposed to like an actual agent who's in the DMs.
When did you hire a setter?
Bottleneck, as soon as you can't keep up with your DMs, basically. I'm almost boring about how much I talk about it, but there was a point in like, when I did that first 50K month in March, when I was like, I literally cannot make content, do all the things. And the first thing to go has to be your DMs because it's so low leverage and someone is paid on their results. So they're hungry to do something, whereas you're hungry to do it, but you're also hungry to make content and all that sort of thing. So I don't think it's a money thing because like, I know a lot of people who are making nothing, but they've got an audience of 100,000 people and they need someone in their DMs ASAP, but yeah.
How much do you pay your setter?
So on the contrary of what I just said, I realized that I didn't want a kid in my DMs. I wanted to pay someone who was of another level because he's also taking these calls. So he's a great guy, Morgan. He's been around for a long time and he's great at these calls. So I pay him £750 plus 5%, and it's now 6% because he's also taking some coaching calls as well. Yeah, cash collected, yeah.
How much of this system is intuitive versus pre-planned in terms of like what stories you post? What type of, like, is it kind of, do you pre-plan it or?
So
I know that some things come up that
sure,
you want to talk about.
Sure. The only thing that I do on the fly is this stuff. Everything else is systemized, like with cadence and that sort of thing. So once a week of this, 2 times a week of this. I did 4, but 2 times a week of this now. But of short form. Sorry, once a day. Oh, yeah, once a day. Yeah, I gave up with it, mate. Just put it all into ads, brother. Yeah, once a day of this stuff, twice a week of this. And then stories I try and do with a bit of system, but it's so hard. It's like so high leverage. Yeah, it's so high leverage, man. And I think this is a good testing ground for places to do things. Like I'm testing new combinations, ones that bring in, but I track every single one of my stories now so that I know what the drop-off rate is and what the views are. So I got that from someone and it was really useful. So,
What do you track?
so say I put like a story sequence on the 20th of July, which is 6 stories.
Yeah.
I'll then track the views on each of them to make sure that I'm like, okay, this works. So that then next week, like the one I put a roadmap up like 2 days ago, and that was one that I posted like 2 months ago that got
the views and engagement of each season.
yeah, and then the swipe ups, so that we can basically say this media works. It's like anything with this or this, you just double down on the ones that work. So we've got a pretty good idea of what works. So my setter will just tell me it's time for a poll, it's time for a DM, it's time for a straight sell, it's time for that.
And will all the stories you post have a purpose to either sell or start a conversation, or will you ever post stories to just showcase value or showcase your lifestyle?
The thing we found is if you don't post an Instagram story, the next day it's so much higher. It's so much higher. So I'm so protective over my Instagram stories because I want someone to be like very excited to see. I'd occasionally post value, but it's only with the idea that it's building up to a sell. So sometimes I'll just post like my client wins just without a CTA. Sometimes I'll post a bit of value, but I know that the day after I'm selling straight after that. I kind of building up that. Russell Brunson does something quite cool like that. He works on weeks. So he does something on a Monday, something on a Tuesday, and then on the Friday he makes the offer. And that's kind of how I think about my stories. It's like, okay, so I've done a poll here, we've started conversations, it's been 4 or 5 days, it's time to go down this end and extract the goodwill that I've bought in there.
So you don't do any like showcasing of what you're doing, where you're at.
What do you mean by that?
Like, let's say you're going back to the UK.
Yeah.
Like, do you put you're back there or having a beer with a friend or like?
Nah, I think that is what Instagram stories were designed for, but what they're great for in business is selling. So like, you just don't want to get fatigue on your stories. The Instagram story algorithm is a whole different algorithm to the normal one. So I'm like, and it's not one where the more you post, all that sort of thing. It's not that, it's a quality thing. So I'm like, I say to Pedro, I'm like, post anything you want on my Reels feed. I couldn't give a shit about that. But if someone interferes with my Instagram stories, like I'm not a happy person. Like it's the funnel of my business right now.
So I noticed that you don't post your reels. They will only go to your reels as opposed to being on your main page. What is the main reason for that and what do you advise?
Such a good question. So we found this out the other day. It's obviously helpful that I'm running ads, but remove ads, I get about 1 million views or 1 million profile visits every month. So therefore, whatever I showcase on those 8 posts is being seen by 1 million people. So like that has got to be perfectly created to show exactly what I want. I don't want mugs of me that are like profile photo or like, like photos of the videos. I want on that page something that shows that I'm an authority, something that shows that I'm trustworthy, something that shows what I do, just basically creating that because it's like the front page of your website, right? It's like the way that I view it.
You had your reel covered on that, it doesn't showcase that.
If you've got a reel that works well, but you have to think that's
like basically saying that because all your reels are going to be good, so they have shit ones on
yeah.
the reels.
Yeah. Like I don't imagine someone is like they followed you and they're like, this person's really good. Then they click on your profile and they watch one of your reels that you were just trying and experimenting and they're like, that was all right. Like didn't do much for me. But instead I put the one that shows I've got mastermind one, I've got the one that I know every single person who's come, or 80% of people who have bought from me have watched this video. So I put that there as well. And then I also put one which is like, I think me in Bali with like a mountain. That's the image that I want to create of myself.
But on the flip side, if someone clicks on your profile and watches 3 of your reels.
Yeah. Exactly. If they're great quality reels, and I'll put them on, if I really think they're good, I'll put them on my home screen. But why right now I think that gives a good image of what I want. You could definitely put, I've had reels on that homepage, but right now the way I've created it, I guess what I'm saying is you can put them there, but you have to be so confident that that reel is going to convert someone.
So if I was your client, what do you advise I do in that scenario? Because
I'll tell you how we did it. So I ask every single client 8 questions, one of them being, what did you watch before you, like what converted you? And before I had this reel on my main page, 80% of people said they had watched this reel. So I was like, right, I'm gonna put that there. And then we asked people about YouTube videos and they said it was all this video. So that is now in my bio and I have that in my bio. And then I think, okay, what like collection of things can I put together that is going to give someone the exact impression that I want to create? So if I was you, I'd think, what does your ICP want to see? What do they envisage of you? And then create that on your page. So probably one thing we're working on is like an actual what we do, because I think too many people are clicking on my page and not knowing what I do. They just see a lifestyle. So I want to do that. But I also think for you, it's like, okay, something to do with like elite performance, something to do with a journey you've had, like a carousel, something like that. Something to do with that. What do you want someone to see?
I do have like 3 pin posts.
Nice.
And, like, I think they're quite valuable, but obviously you only get 3.
Yeah.
Obviously follow others' posts.
Yeah.
And reads that you
Yeah. Just the ones that work. Just the ones that work. But that's a big change, because I used to just be like, whatever. And then I was like, the reason we saw it is because every one of my photos on my profile gets 100,000 views on a carousel. And I'm like, wow, I need to be making sure I'm very clear that I want those 100,000 people to go specific place.
probably the mistake I make is then try to make every reel so high quality,
Mm.
which then also kills your output.
Yeah.
Because you're aware that it's on your page.
For sure. But if you look at the stats of your reels, like it'll be 60, 70% of people who have never seen you before are viewing it. So it's like, just chuck it out and see what works. Just chuck it out. Other thing, like little tip here, trial reels. I don't know if anyone's on the trial reel game yet, but like, my God, it's the easiest hack that Instagram have ever given you. 100 trial reels a day, every single day. Just, it's like a free ad, basically. So that's something else that works really nicely.
What was that, sorry?
Trial reels. There we go. So it is.
Is this the app that says so and so has used this app?
No. So Instagram releases feature, and this is like, everyone thinks this is like a hack now, but everyone knows about it. So Instagram releases feature where you could post an Instagram video and it would only be you could mark it as trial reel, and the only people that would see that reel would be your non-followers. The idea is that you could basically have a testing ground. It might not be, it's not on some profiles. I think, is it someone? Yeah.
There's a link somewhere that they hid that you can just click.
I used it and I got it.
Yeah, it's so weird. They hide it, and I can give it to someone if they need it.
There you go.
Yeah, please do.
That's worth the mastermind ticket for sure.
There's a new editing app that Instagram have created.
Yeah.
And when you edit the video with the app, it comes up.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's cool. The reason I like that app is because it has a retention graph on it, which Instagram doesn't have anywhere else. So it's cool because you can then start seeing. Yeah, you don't even need to edit the video in there. You can just post it and then go back into edits, and it's and that's so cool because then you can just improve your videos.
What's your thoughts on this like somewhat saturated formula with the top 3 pinned posts? It's like story, credibility, results, like that. Do you know what I mean? Like the Instagram funnel. Do you think that's going to get saturated?
I think like the thing is, saturation is only a thing when 2 things are competing against each other. However, if someone clicks onto your page, it's not. It's like, why first principles? Why does that exist? It's because you want someone to see those 3 things because they're the 3 things that work. Yeah. Saturation is like, okay, there's a fitness coach saying this, there's another fitness coach saying the exact same thing, and there's loads of fitness coaches doing the same thing next to each other. For that, it's like they're already in your funnel. So it's like saying, is closing calls going to be saturated? It's like, no, everyone does them because they exist for a reason.
I think it's because maybe I'm exposed to it more than the average person.
And we forget that, like, It's like in the ads, we all think that. We all think we're in a saturated market. Yeah, they're just like, that's useful.
So why don't you focus on I know you have your testimonials page, but like you're obviously made great, you don't have any testimonials, and like you say like probably a certain percentage of people that would experience through your testimonials.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. We're trying to we don't have the answer necessarily, but I like the idea of keeping that page clean and then having on it's still in. I mean, it's technically the first thing you see when you click onto my profile is my testimonials page, and then what I want to create on that is I want to create a really great personal brand that people are interested in. Again, this top of funnel share stuff. So people are like, oh, I like this person. And then they either click on it then, or future down the line, they come onto the page and then they click on that and they just see an unlimited scroll of testimonials. And that unlimited scroll is so powerful. Like, oh my God, I can't get to the end of all these results that this person has. So I like splitting them. And also I would never post a testimonial on my Instagram page, or I would worry about it because I'd be like, it's not the same content that I put out there the whole time.
Volume-based, lots of testimonials, or short or really strong ones. I mean, say lots that are good feedback, or else 3 to 4 that are banging.
On where?
On that page. We'll say so when they go on that page, they have unlimited scroll.
Yeah.
But we'll say within that, it's just loads of like, would say like small wins,
Yeah.
such as opposed to like 3 that are right there that are like, this is
Small wins, 100%. Like on YouTube, you want someone to watch a 25-minute video and be like, this is incredible how much this person has. But no one's going to watch a 25-minute video on Instagram because they're in monkey brain mode. So they just basically need to see that there are so many examples of this person, and anyone they click on is like, great, Sol's amazing, Emma's amazing.
Let's say big results, like as opposed to like small win, like even if it's a short video, like big results as in like income generated or like like corporate job as opposed to like lots of like little bits of feedback. If that makes sense.
Maybe you could pin them at the top of the testimonial, because you, again, create the things you want people to see, but I'm going for the unlimited scroll as opposed to the incredible specific results, and I'll use my story for that, for the incredible specific results. I want someone to just get the feeling that people can say thousands of good things about me. That's the kind of the energy I'm going for. But I don't disagree with your take on that, but the problem is like, what's the thought of someone clicking on my page that has 600 videos versus yours that might have like 40 really great testimonials, but 40. As long as all my clips are like, the one thing I do make sure is all those clips that they click on, they're good quality. It's not like someone's gonna click on that and go, oh, like that, what did that, it didn't even say anything. It's like, that's why I record 25-minute podcast testimonials. Like I want it to be as long as possible. Like I'm really pushing that to be longer, and I just get my VA to go in and like clip up and find the good ones.
I'm trying to build like one person's testimony. This is just for myself, because I only do like one, but would say like how many pieces of content would you try to get out per person as such, like to give feedback?
Every single good clip that I can find. So like if there's a 25-minute video, I'm like, if there's a speck of positivity about me, let's get it up there. So yeah, I just think testimonials is like, it's the best thing that you can do for people, because we all say we can do what we can say. We all say that we can do what we say we can, but testimonials are beautiful because there's someone else doing it. It's such good social proof. So the longer your testimonials can be, the more testimonials you can get. And there's a whole thing that I can talk about that, like setting up a culture in your community or with your clients of how to collect. Like we have a whole testimonial collection system, which is like every time someone gives me a win, I'm like, why is that not in the wins channel? I'm like aggressively like, why is that not in the wins channel? To create a wins culture in my community, then everyone then is posting wins with each other. Everyone loves the wins. It becomes a great place to be. People are talking about, okay, this is great, this is great, this is great. And then my VA or my CSM collects all of the screenshots I'm putting up on my Instagram story the whole time. They're in my highlights of my Instagram. I've got testimonials that I pump out everywhere, and I have that channel as well that people can just unlimited scroll. I just think they have to be like everywhere. And the other thing I do with testimonials, last thing on that is I will take testimonials when no one else will take testimonials. So like, I believe that people with testimonials, I have a few ones on my page, and they don't actually have a win as such. It's not like they've made 10K, but they have just got 20 minutes of saying that like, I'm an amazing person. And that does so much for people, because yes, I have wins where people are like, they've made 10K a month. You have to obviously have that. But also a video of just another human being saying that Emma is amazing is such a good thing to have. So I take testimonials like 3 days into someone working with me, because they've like sign their first client, or they, something small, like there's not a massive thing, but I'm like, yeah, let's just get this person on a testimonial.
Podcast, 3 days in.
25 minutes, yeah, 25 minutes, yeah. Because like, I mean, the other thing is when people join, they're the warmest possible, so they still are so happy. Whereas like, you take even I've got people who are doing 10K a month in my community, and I'll do it 4 months in, and they're like, oh yeah, Sol's a good guy. 3 days in, they're like, because they want to justify their decision. Yeah.
People don't buy what people sell, people buy what people buy.
People don't buy what people sell, they buy what people buy.
Like herd behavior sort of thing.
Yeah, well, it's just like they see that other people are doing it, they're sort of just like that. And they're like,
Yeah.
I love that. 3 days.
It's yeah. I just think like,
It makes sense.
yeah.
It makes so much sense.
How do you frame that to them? Like, let's jump on a call to chat about your business.
People are so happy to do it. Like, there's almost this weird giving back feeling when someone joins you that they want to do it. Like
Do you frame it as like, can we do a testimonial?
yeah. Do you mind if I just clip up a video? Because they've all seen my other testimonials, so they want to be someone on that channel.
that's specific, like scripted or like questions that you ask.
Yes, I'm gonna forget it off the top of my head. It's like I'll run you through a few things I definitely do. The last question is I do, if you're on the fence with me, if someone's watching this and they're on the fence, what would you say to them? That works nicely. The first thing is like, what made you decide to work with me? Do that, because that's basically someone objection handling someone else. The second one is what? Yeah, but that's too obvious. Like it's got to be more implicit.
I read the questions and I used it, and it was like, whilst working with me, what has been a win? And that's attached to me like the end point B time.
Yes, nice. So it's like, how have I helped you get closer to the point that you wanted to get to? And then, do you remember the last one?
It was just before the on the fence one, and I think it was just like, it just went so fast because you went.
Have you been on one of these, have you?
Yeah,
3 days.
2 days in, mate.
I was just about to ask you, are you doing this without me knowing, like on group calls, whatever? But the main thing was I used this on a testimonial, and I couldn't remember what questions I was asking because they fluidly went from one to the other. So I know exactly what you're thinking now. I have the questions up on Notion.
Yeah. There you go. That's leverage.
Why don't you wait until they hit 10K?
Because I'll do both. Yeah, I'll do both. I'll just take the first one down as soon as they hit the second one. Never always optimize for the most. Pardon? Nice. I think it's something about like, what were the specific things that you have now understood that you didn't understand before. They're all designed because they're part of, and I can get into this, but they're all designed as part of an objection handling process where everything that I make is about objection handling a sales call. Like everything I make is about objection handling a sales call. That's how I think about everything. So how can I get someone to say something which is going to get someone else who is watching it, who has this one concern, to then not have that concern anymore? So you try and frame the question like, why did you get it going now? Like, why did you not delay this decision so that you can get that objection handled? Another one, which is like, what is the transformation? Talking about that. What are the other objections I get? One thing I asked the guy is like, everyone thinks like the online space is a scam. Why is this legit? Because I was just, that's one thing that we all get attacked by is the scammer stuff.
One I like is, why me specifically?
Very good.
There's a bunch of people that think it's just from
Yeah, very good.
Like, well, I like how you do this.
Very good. Yeah. That is so good, by the way. Like that has changed my business doing that, asking every single client on an onboarding form why they joined. So good. Yeah. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. Yes. And then on a form as well. So we have a form that we give to every client who onboards. Like as soon as they've onboarded, we ask them a load of questions. One of them is like, how likely were you to close before the sales call? What did you watch? What was the first thing you watched? What was the thing that convinced you to buy from us in the future? And everything in business is just collecting data and then just doubling down on the thing that's working so well. So then so now every single one of my clients said that the reason they work with me is because they like me as a person, they like my values. Hence why we're just going overboard on vlogs, because we don't, like some of my clients don't even watch the Miro board videos, they just like the value stuff, so double down. And then what are the other ones? What weird quirky things about me or about my business did you join for? We ask why me versus other coaches, did you shop around? And then what else was it? What bits of content did you enjoy the most? So then I just get my content schedule from that onboarding call.
I feel like having that as part of the onboarding though is almost like more admin for them to do, and some people can be like, fuck, I can't be asked. So
They've just paid.
I just want to do this. I want to progress my business. I don't want to
True, but I think the beautiful thing about a personal brand is they're excited to get going. Like they're excited and I genuinely feel like all my clients want to repay me for working with me. And even though they've paid me money, like I often get on an onboarding call, which is like, I want to be your best case study. I want to blow your business up. And that's like just creating the mission of everything together. So I think, I don't think so. Yeah. And if they do, then I have no idea.
Where do you think that comes from? Because I think that's really powerful. You can get clients, but if the clients don't feel like they want to
So it must be something in your content.
I think, again, like I'm trying to be very objective here without trying to sound arrogant. I think it's that I'm very authentic in my story, and I'm very like, these are the struggles. I talk about my mental health. I talk about loads of other things. So people really feel bought into like me as a person. And then I think people want to feel part of a mission. It's like the same as hiring. People, at the end of the day, it's a few thousand. Like that is money, but people want to feel like they're part of a journey, and people want to feel part of like that community. And I'm like, join us on the part of that journey of doing things, and they want to be part of your success as well as someone else's success. So the people who join you, like, how can you phrase it to them, which is like, we're building a mission together. Though actually, this is a really good thing that I was reflecting on the other day. I listened to a podcast with a guy called Andrew Kirby and Hamza. And Hamza was describing why his community has done so well. And he was saying that he created a shared mission, which is, you know, how he talks about Jeffries, and he talks about, he like alienates being one person, and he like glorifies being Adonis. He's just Hamza, like he's just another guy, but he's built this mission of like, everyone wants to become Adonis. Fuck Jeffrey, everyone wants to become Adonis. And that, when I was thinking about my business called the Free Thinkers Club, and it's about this mission of like being fulfilled in your work, loving what you do. And I wanted to create something bigger than me, which was like, from what Hamza said, which is, how can you create this mission towards something where people feel part of that? Because instead of a transaction, it's like, just join me on this and we're going this way. And that's what Hamza did really well. And I took that, and that's how I conceptualized my Free Thinkers Club.
Why aren't you using that more? I feel like you're not using that enough.
The mission part.
Because I got it at the very start. Like when I was, for example, like back ages ago, when I was returning to be your setter, I was like, oh, it's going to be part of the free stuff. And then after that, it fell off. Honestly, a part of the free mission as much.
Yeah.
It's just business.
Yeah, it's good feedback. It's good feedback. I think it's good feedback. It's like, how can you create that in your marketing? Because you've got to be very careful about the salesy aspect of that. It can land poorly, but in the middle of the funnel, I think we talk about it a lot. Like here, it's just up here, it's a bit, you know, join my mission, by the way, you've got to pay me 10K. It's like, it doesn't land very well, does it? It's like, but here when they're like, okay, I have the problem that you can solve, you're good at it. It's like, okay, great. The reason that you go from here to here, the reason that you go from here to here is because there's like a mission behind it. And that is genuine. Like, I wasn't doing that to try and sell people. It was a genuine, like, that's why I want to work with people who do.
It's kind of subconscious as well, like, you're not actually saying, I am on this mission, come join me. It's kind of like, fuck the underground, let's go in the garden. And it's like, I quit my job at very similar times. And I was like, shit, this guy's stuff is resonating with me. That's why I'm on that mission myself. And this content is a direct reflection of what I'm experiencing personally. And that creates a bond between us just through watching that content alone. So you've made mission through your own personal story and the business that you've created as a result.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think I would challenge everyone, even if you're like in an agency, is how can you create something bigger than yourself? How can you create, like some people, like PTs, sometimes their mission is to like go against calories. I find that like, it's like that is their singular mission, and everyone in their community is like, fuck calories. Whoever's talking about this calorie bullshit is ridiculous. And it's like, how can you group people around a subject and it's something bigger than themselves? And then like there's a bit of fear on the end of the sales call because it's a lot of money, but in general, most people are pretty sold.
Yeah, I've been doing it around what I call six-figure freedom. Because when you hit, you get to move to Bali, you can pretty much whatever you want. But I don't feel like it's resonating.
Interesting.
You know, I maybe haven't put enough energy into it, really like staying out my content.
Yeah.
But because six-figure freedom sounds like massive probably to a lot of people, so like making it like more like feeling freedom rather than like adding six figures to it, potentially, maybe. Like I don't hear turn up targets. Six figures to a lot of people it sounds like large, especially if they're closer to the beginning of their journey. But like freedom is always something that everyone can resonate and relate to, and I suppose that feeling of freedom is what you're trying to cultivate, like, even with the six figures behind it. So like just kind of making it more about the feeling of being able to do whatever you want, like no matter what income you're at, but also getting towards the 8, 9, 10K.
Yeah. I love that because one of the biggest things I say to PTs is that no one cares about how much weight someone has lost or gained. They want to know, like, do they feel happy when they take their top off? Like, what's the actual emotion? And people, I mean, 6 figures is nothing unless you can be miserable and have 6 figures. But what is the feeling of freedom that they get? And like the PTs, is like, what's the feeling when you take your top off? Because people are dictated in life by feelings, not by money, because money's only a medium of how you can feel. So I would say that. And then the other point I would say there is that people are like the freedom aspect, and me saying the Free Thinkers Club is like, it's not an achievable outcome or not. It's not like I am here and I want to, like, it's not something you can define. It's like it's a way of thinking almost. I know that sounds super woo-woo to say, but like, yeah. And you can never be Adonis, you can never be Jeffrey, but you're aspiring to something. And that way, I have some clients who are like, we wish we could be making more money. They're bringing a few clients, but they want to be making more. But they're so happy because they're like, I'm building towards this feeling of fulfillment and like enjoying what I'm doing every day. That means that no one's a failure or a success. Whereas 6 figure is like, I'm not there yet. I will be there at some point. And then you get there and you're like, it's like, what's the feeling that you give people? And you just ask everyone you'll know. What do you give people when you work with them?
Out of curiosity, obviously, you've built this trust ecosystem, and one of the main reasons for that, I'm guessing, is to get people in like a pre-sold state, right? Mm-hmm. So what, if you don't mind sharing, is your close rate on the...
Good questions.
You're taking it alongside the...
Yeah, so I'm taking the closing call still. Close rate is like 40 to 50%, but so this month it's been 44%, but the reason that it's not higher is because we basically were starting to send more people through here that weren't financially qualified. I'm like, my program's 10K, and for a lot of people who are my ICP, that is too much money. So it's anyone who has a knowledge or skill that they want to basically monetize, but they've not done that yet. So they can either be in a 9-to-5 job, or they can have an agency that they want to then productize into a coaching business.
So it's not for people that maybe are doing 5K a month but just don't know the next step.
Yeah, very like, I'll occasionally take them on, but it's got, I mean, the same thing as everything, right? You have your ICP, and if you believe you can help someone out of that, you'll take them on. But my messaging is like, you have the ability to gain freedom from your agency that's trapping you, or from from a skill you have right now, by turning it into an education business. And that's the messaging.
See, because like, I'm a little bit, you could say, confused or stuck with regards to like what the
bottleneck comes out.
Yeah. So like, because for example, I could work with someone who maybe hasn't launched a product yet and they haven't effectively monetized their audience and do really well, but I could also work with someone who is maybe not doing so well. Yeah. So I know that obviously my messaging has to be for a specific person, but what about all of the case studies that I've generated in the past? Like, it's funny because we did, I think it was like 460K in 15 days with a low ticket product, but anytime I talk about it, it doesn't resonate with anyone because it seems like such a, like that type of client is a needle in a haystack. Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out, do I talk about how to take someone from 0 to 10K, but then that's not like leveraging really like what we can do. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
I just say choose. Like you can go either way because you've got the social proof that you've built an agency. You can do both, but you can't talk about doing both. That's the difference. Is like I would say don't do both ideally, but you can do both, but don't do both because like just imagine the onboarding experience. Like the first thing you're going to say is like, this is how you build your offer, but someone's gonna be like, man, I'm making 10K a month. I don't need to build the offer. I just need this one thing fixed. Yeah. So, I've not got the perfect solution to that because again, like you very rarely say no to people who are super qualified and ready to go and keen to work with you. But my experience is it's always easier to work with people who already have businesses. But I just didn't have that social authority to do that yet.
So with regards to like your messaging and your content is focused solely on people who haven't built the offer yet, but what percentage of people come through that actually do have an offer already?
And not so the offering can be people who have a knowledge or skill business that want to grow it. We basically focus on building and scaling info products. So the way that you can come into that is you can have an info product, so you're a coach already, or you can have an info product you want to start, or you can be an agency owner who wants to info product their current skills.
Okay, so because obviously there are people that have an info product, but there are also people that have an info product and they might be making 10K but don't know how to make 20. So with your messaging, do you ever talk about, does your messaging ever relate to revenue, or is it focused
Revenue brings on both, because if you're making 0, you want to make 50K a month. If you're making 10K a month, you want to make 50K a month.
Because the minute you talk about someone making 10K, you don't relate to people who haven't started the offer yet. So how do you balance that? Because actually
I would disagree with that. I think if you're talking about what, as in
maybe not 10K, but so let's say someone you work with is someone who might want to leave their 9 to 5 to start info offer, right? Yeah. If you start doing your content about how someone was at 5 to 10K and you help them get to XYZ, would you fear that maybe that's not going to relate to that push? Yeah.
For sure,
you don't mind blending.
Yeah, because it's not. I think in info, it's not a perfect space, and in general, with your ICP, I just go hard on that topic, but I know that other people come in because people know that the numbers that I'm making. So then they're like, well, he's not talking about me, but at the same time, I know that he has the knowledge because he also social proofs at the start saying that he's making 50K a month. So you can do both, but the headline overall message of fulfillment freedom applies to everything. And then I'll just make tactical videos about kind of the both.
That's not actually, some of your stuff is probably not actually about James, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
But it reinforces the authority and stuff.
And weirdly enough, I had quite a lot of info product people or people who have coaching businesses still resonate with me talking about James's 9 to 5 issues because they themselves feel or have experienced that. So I've had a few people who are making 20K a month who are like, man, I don't do that now, but 2 years ago, I was in a 9 to 5 and I hated it. So congrats on what you've done, sort of thing. And then it comes back to the fulfillment part, which is you might not be solving my problem of fulfillment, but you're still talking about getting more fulfilled, which is at the end of the day what everyone wants.
One thing I have noted here is, I think no matter what the ICP is, what Soul has figured out is the system that multiple ICPs can come into and the system still works. And that's what it is. Because that's a problem that I've been having is I've helped coaches scale with ads. I've helped influencers monetize with webinars. I have all these different strategies and tactics and stuff, and I've helped 9 to 5ers make their first sale, but I haven't really solidified that one system that anybody can come into.
That's such a good point. That's actually dead on. It's productizing the roadmap.
It's more of a bracket rather than speaking to only that person, but not going too far.
Yeah, and I think I'm direct in who I speak to with their problems, but I bring in other people through, and then they're like, okay, well, I have an info product I want to scale. Well, this makes sense to get going. People come to you pretty easily, but that's a really good point. That's exactly what it is. It's that there's A and then there's B here, and someone might join here, but they all want to get here. So actually the program is set up so that I can productize the whole journey. I think were you talking about productizing? That's the way. You just got to make sure everyone's on the same line, because man, I don't know how you, in one part of your head, are building a webinar, and then in the other part of your day, that must be hard, right? Or not.
I mean, that was kind of, like I said, I have 2 types of clients. One are influencers and big personal brands that are 10 to 30K per month. And I have, I charge big upfront fees. I have retainers into rev share, and then I have the consulting thing.
Yes.
And I've been doing that for I just started the consulting thing this year, and I got in maybe 15 clients at 4K or something. And so I really want to scale that to 50K a month. But I love working with these influencers too, because they like what I'm learning from them is they know how to create movements exactly like Juan said. You know, and when you get 20,000 people in a school community who are like, dude, you have a new low ticket offer and make 20K in like a few days.
Yeah, it's just interesting that your time is split between those two, right? Like that. When you say that, it's a red flag to me. But I'm sure if you enjoy it, then just keep juggling it. But it must be hard, right?
But I think it is probably the reason that I'm not going to get to 100K per month as fast as I want.
That's why I moved from done for you, because when you're stretched with so many, like I had, every client was unique. There was no cookie cutter system I could put them through. So that meant that delivery couldn't get standardized or systemized. And I'm just stuck in serving these clients with unique challenges, unique funnels. And it's, kind of, again, it just falls back to what kind of business you want to run, doesn't it?
Regarding the parallels, when you're talking about when people come through, they don't necessarily align with the guys sat on the tube meeting. They came through the fund basically. They bought from your program, you're tracking them. How do you know when or where they came through to then talk about those parallels here? Like, how do you actually know that a lot of my clients come through and they don't actually maybe resonate with this? Like, if I'm tracking everything and I want to know which data points are actually true,
So
where the parallels at and when where's the strength?
So this is where organic falls versus like paid, because with paid you can track with Hyros everything you need to know, but with organic you have to just ask people. You have to know what brought them in. So that's why I ask everyone, can you please tell me like specifically when was the first time you remember seeing my face? You have to. And I'm so like, I got this from my mentor who was like, tell me the exact video. Like, and I was like, oh, I think it was this one. He was like, no, the exact video, because you need that data point. It's probably the most valuable data point that you can get if you start seeing a trend. So you have to ask people. It's the only way you can work out what's resonated with people.
So the video they first seen or the video that in their mind that like, this is my guy?
Both. So both. So I know my short form video, which is like, I quit my 60K consulting job. That video has been seen by like 70% of my clients, 80% of my clients. That was the first time they saw me. Hence why it's on my homepage. And then I know there's a bit more variety about what converted people.
Can I ask about you've started a page now, playing next to your profile, next to your organic. You can track that. How long do you find the sales cycle is from a lead coming in from paid, seeing your content, and then eventually booking a call?
Through paid. Don't have enough data on it yet. Yeah, only been running paid properly for 3 weeks-ish now. The organic cycle is on average 60 days. I've tracked that. Like, I know that. I ask everyone, if you could give me the week that you remember seeing me, just give me an idea. And we averaged it all out, removed anyone who was networked, so anyone who properly didn't know me before they then found me on social media, it's 60 days. Which is not bad. Not bad. Like, compared to paid, it's shit, but like, compared with organic and the if I think about those sales calls and the people that I came through, like, I'm pretty happy with that.
Have all of them seen your long form?
Yes, every single person has watched at least 2 videos. If there's one thing you take away from this, is that YouTube is the single best platform in the world ever. Like, it's a joke in my program where I just say to people, make short form, do whatever you want on short form, but make YouTube videos. It's like, if you think about anyone you know who's doing well right now, they're doing well, almost 99% of them will be because they've got a big YouTube channel. Short form is just to get people to short form is basically to get people to click on your long form videos. That's the way that I think about it. I was chatting to Phil and I was saying, the thing that gets people to click on videos is either something incredible that they're willing to click on Liam's video who they've never seen before, but they're like, fuck, this topic sounds awesome. Or it is because they've got so much value from Liam in the past that they're like, I know this video will be valuable. And that's why short form is good, because it builds up that part. They watch a long form video and then they book. But interestingly, most of my clients, we've signed like maybe 3 in the last few weeks, but in the 6 months or 7 months previously, exclusively through Instagram. exclusively through Instagram, even though we know people watch 2 YouTube videos before they join us, which is interesting. Let me just give a bit more while I'll give anyone a chance to think about any questions they have. I think I talked about, the way I think about it is you've got traffic, you've got converting leads into calls, you've got selling people on calls, and then you've got service delivery, like getting people results. And the bit I haven't spoken about is this part here. I'm not gonna go through, like, I'm sure most of you know very well how to close people, all that thing. Just one bit of source that I would give between here and here that we do is we send every single person who books in a closing call with us. So they join a qualification call. My setter goes, are you qualified? Goes through all the frameworks, et cetera, et cetera. The 3 things that we do between here and here is we send them something called a pre-sale asset. Like, I can't believe how good that is. You basically make a document where you go through your whole program, every single thing that is involved in your program, every single minute detail they might need to know, because the aim of that is that someone comes to this closing call and they have decided that they're gonna do it already. They might need to know the price, et cetera, but they don't have any questions, because the biggest objection is someone comes to a call like this and they're like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, I have no idea what my program actually is. So this works incredibly well. This pre-sale asset works incredibly well. The second thing is testimonials. We have a separate testimonial YouTube channel. We chuck people into that YouTube channel. They go and watch like that. Those YouTube videos have between like 30 and 150 views. So I theorize that there's not many, and I actually know from the data that those people are not people who find me through YouTube. They're all the people that watch that testimonial channel. So basically my idea is that someone clicks on the video we sent them, they watch the video we sent them, and then they go and watch 6 other testimonials, and they're just bouncing around, more and more trust, more and more trust. And then the third thing is we just send them another long form video, because my only aim is to increase the amount of time that someone is watching me before they come and get closed.
Did you say testimonials channel?
Yes. I have an exclusive YouTube testimonials channel, which is full of every single one of my testimonials. Reason is, first, you don't want to be putting just straight testimonials on your YouTube channel because it kills the page quality, because you only want to put great, engaging videos. Whereas that second channel is more of like a housing page for testimonials. I will occasionally put testimonials on my main YouTube channel, but I'll make sure they're really engaging videos before I do that. Pure YouTube testimonial channel. That is a must for sure. That's been so good having that. And then you can send people the testimonials that work for them. And I film podcasts. It's like a podcast. It's not so contrived as saying, or not so staged like just answer these 4 questions. I'm just like, let's just have a chat. Like, I want someone to see me getting on with my clients, because then they're like, I can just imagine being that person. So that channel's fucking awesome. And then, yeah, as I said, the third thing is just send them a YouTube channel. Everything you do here is just increasing watch time. Remember that Google stat, which is 7 hours, people buy. After 7 hours, they buy. So how can you get to 7 hours as quickly as possible? Which is why it's a 60-day cycle, but it's why the closing rate is so much higher.
Do you ask everyone? Because I don't think you asked me if I bounced around the testimonial channel.
Don't know, but I know from the stats inside the YouTube analytics, you can tell where people have come from.
Like the actual traffic source.
Yeah. Oh, YouTube's fucking incredible. Like, you can go in. Another thing I found out the other day is that this is super niche advice, but if you promote your YouTube video on Instagram, then what happens is we found that the average view time on that video was 50% less from anyone who came from Instagram. So the theory of that is that basically, and Alex Hormozi talks about this a lot, which is if someone is in monkey mode, they watch short form video where they're just going like this, they can't transfer their brain over to watching a long form video. And you think about it, like, you're lying in bed, just scrolling or whatever. It's a completely different act to watching dinner, or like watching it with dinner and stuff like that. So you can't mix the 2 platforms. And I've now stopped sending my Instagram audience to YouTube. I've just posted loads on this and known that YouTube will also just show them me as well, basically. Because if you send them, then it crashes your YouTube videos, basically. So yeah.
So why do you use the pre-qualifying call that your setter will take? What is the benefit of doing that or having that call versus pre-qualifying them via form or like a questionnaire on Calendly, for example, that asks them about investment and about X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
That everything you need to know. What's the benefit of doing that?
Okay, so really interesting question because it's something I'm always battling with because a lot of people just go straight to this and do all the qualifying in the DMs or the Calendly stuff. I think, firstly, the resulting aspect of us dropping some value on them and then sending them back in here, like the touch point they have, they're going to remember having 15 minutes with me or 15 minutes with my setter where he kind of goes, we do at the start, the first 5 minutes, we spend giving value to people. The second thing is, this is like, it's like the semi-final before the final. It's like instead of just going straight into this call, you're mentally preparing someone that they're going to be closed on another call. It puts people into a right frame. Whereas I know a lot of people who have these calls, the constant objection that they get is the time objection. Like, I need time to think about it. Whereas when we have this call, someone knows the time spent between here and here, they decide whether they're going to buy or not. Whereas the problem is some people just fall out the ecosystem, book this in, and then they're like, oh, I've not even like really considered this yet. Like, I need more time to think about it. And then the third thing I think is what's the third reason I think? I think we can smell bullshit in here and it then protects my time more. Because I'm still closing and I think I will still close for quite a lot of time because the closing rate's so high and I like closing. It protects my time. I don't want to be sitting on calls with people who I spend 45 minutes on a call with them and at the end they're like, I've got 100 quid in my bank account, I can't afford it.
I think I've experienced that in the past, although I will ask them to start like, do you have this investment? And then also like, we need to make one thing to ask is who closed the loop today, you know what I mean? So, I mean, sometimes people at the end still, but largely the closure is quite good.
Yeah, and I'm not stuck fast on this system. As always, I only talk about the things that have worked for me, and right now this works. The negatives are what are the negatives of this one? I guess the two negatives are waste my setter time, and people may fall off between here and here. But we don't have anyone fall off between here and here because he only sends people through who are warm and ready to go. And then I don't care about wasting my set time. I pay him. No, jokes aside, when this becomes a bottleneck, when the call is the calendar is too full, we'll then transfer to Calendly, like tick boxes and then qualifying and then more setting. But right now it's like, get people onto this as quickly as possible, get everyone who's qualified onto this and just close them.
What's your framework for qualification of the demo call? Like, what's the main things that you'd look to know?
But I think this is Hormozzi's, but Bant. So I should probably write this. Bant. So, and I've put one extra in because we kept getting objections on this. So budget, yeah, banner. Can you imagine? Yeah. Budget, like, do you have enough money? What job do you do? How many clients do you have? Just an assessment of where their budget is. It's very hard to just ask someone, do you have enough money? But like some form of asking their budget. Authority, are you the decision maker? Like, is this you? Is there a partner involved? Need, like, do you actually want to make this happen? Like, why not? I mean, and then the second one, which is time, why is the right time now? But need being that part. And then competition, like the amount of times that we've had. I think it's so hard to deal with the competition objection because if someone goes, look, honestly, like I would love to work with you, but I'm going to go up to and have 3 more calls this week and then make a decision. There's nothing you can say unless you're like, there's obviously a few ways to get around it, but I found that that's pretty unshakable as an objection. So they're the 5.
Any selling on that call in terms of like getting to the pay, getting to the dream results, like do you get your setters to do much of that in terms of like actually making them like more problem aware and like making them like sit in their paid like for $1 like?
Yeah, we'll do a bit of value at the start. So we'll do like, where do you want to go? Why have you started the business? All that sort of thing. But it's all really ticking this off. Yes, we'll probably, like, I like this idea of the gap. We'll try and, this is a good way to build the gap earlier. And the gap is literally like, this is where you want to be. This is where you are now. Like I say, dream, like D as in dream outcome. And like, in my head, all I'm thinking about is how can I locate this, and find out what the gap is and why someone wants to go to that. I'm always thinking, in my head in closing calls, I'm thinking like this. I'm like, okay, is it big enough? Okay, yes, time to go to the next like section.
So like starting to more, but say if you're on, say I found recently that like I got on sales calls, but I do such a good job of like, would say create that gap between like the pain that they're feeling and where they want to be, that like people are like say taking out loans or borrowing on family to like work with me in a sense as well.
Awesome.
Would you ever feel like that? Doing that demo call, you're not like creating enough sense of like there's such a big gap here and I really want that dream result. Would say by just qualifying them, but maybe they would have like taken it over, they would have found the resources like somewhere, but maybe necessarily they don't have the budget, but they would have found it if they got on a call with you. Like, do you ever find that at all, or like?
So do you not have this call?
No, I just have straight closing. But I have questions in Calendly that qualify, so like semi.
Okay, and then do you find, I think the way we think about it is only in like what is bottlenecking us right now. And we're booking in so many of these calls, then we're like, hey, let's just take it to this. If a lot of these were just warm inbound, let's go, then we would be like, okay, let's just qualify you and let's try and book you on later today and get going with it. But I'm so conscious of protecting my time. But it's a good challenge. So you're saying people join those calls and they're ready to go, basically, for you?
Those closing calls, like more or less, I think it's down to like really creating that sense of like pure trust and also creating that like gap between like where they are and that I have the resources and the ability to get them to where they want to go, and like that sense of, I feel like trust couldn't be built in a demo call because they're not talking to me necessarily. And like on the demo call they might not have the resources to invest, but on the call with me they might like create the resources, like find the resources to invest, if that makes sense.
Why? And what's your close rate right now?
50%-ish, I think.
Okay, and how many are you closing a week?
By 3 to 4.
Okay, good. I mean, I wouldn't change it then. I wouldn't change it. I think it's what works for your business. That's perfect. And I think my setter is part of a closing community, and there's like a big split in it between whether you should do qualification call and closing call. With big personal brands, you can definitely do this easier. We just find this system works. So we're just like, right now, there's no, like, so you're saying that the negative is basically that you think if someone jumped on a call with me straight away, they would find the resources. Well, that's the challenge that you're giving, right?
Yeah, I'd say like there's probably about like even in the last like month, like I've just implemented like a proper setter, so like I've gone like very much like a growing scale over the last month. But like people who are getting on the call with me would say like they just need that like trust built, and then they can find the resources, as opposed to like, let's say your system, if I was implementing your system, they could get on that demo call, then be qualified financially, but like not have the resources. But if they had got on the call with me, they might have like went to find the resources, like by borrowing money or like taking out a loan. Like I've had like 3 people in the last like 3 weeks, like either borrow money from a partner or like take out a loan to like actually join the program. But I feel like if I had that demo call in place, they might have been financially qualified, and then they wouldn't have joined because they didn't get on that call with me to actually create that sense of like, I really want to do this, if that makes sense.
But then I guess the problem is that system is not scalable if a few of those, like once you get to a point, I mean, we're booking 25 of these a week. So once you're getting to a point where it's like, if you want to scale, how are you going to protect your time there? Because that's going to kill you at some point. That would be the way that I'd think about it, is like, this system works until 500K a month. Your system caps you out at like, I don't know, 20, 30K a month, something like that. When you're taking call after call where you're like, can you take a loan out? It's going to be like, you're going to have to protect yourself somehow. So how would you protect yourself in that system?
Yeah, no, I don't really have an answer to it. So.
That's the only reason I do this, is like, I'm so precious of my time. And I fucking hate getting on calls where you spend 50 minutes and then at the end, they're just like, I don't have any money. And you're like, oh my God. And the thing is, people lie on those forms. That's the other thing that I found when I was doing other closing things is, it's pretty hard to ask people like just straight up, how much money do you have? So even if you're like, how much are you willing to invest? Like, people lie. People get there. It's so annoying. I had a guy this morning who was like, we said, are you ready for 4-figure investment? And he's an Aussie guy. So he was like, I said, it's 10K. So he was like, 10K USD, so 14K. And he was like, yeah, I was so ready to invest 4 figures, but 5 figures, no chance, mate, no chance. I was like, what? Like, and then I gave him a payment plan. He was like, yeah, anyway, I fucking hate closing sometimes. That's, yeah, with that stuff. So which is why I'm just like, Morgan, take everything, and then I'll take this, and then I can do what I believe. And this is, I guess, almost transitioning onto another topic here, which is what I believe. I believe my time is best spent not doing this. I think this is a waste of my time because there's always someone in the world who's better at closing than you, so you can outsource that. But there's not someone better at the world than delivering your program to your clients who have come through you. So I think about some of you may have seen this in my YouTube videos, but I think about this as like I call it the results flywheel, and I'm like, if the only thing that I think about is by getting incredible client results, then what will happen is like, so this is my input. I just think all I need to do is get incredible client results. Then I film loads of testimonials. How do you spell it? Testimonials. And then what happens is prospect sees, new client, and then results. So actually, I could just run my whole business by literally just getting good results. Like maybe a bit of ads and a bit of short form, but like if I just crush it, then I'm doing it well. And I know a few people in the industry who like all they just focus on is getting results. And I know this is you can't control this necessarily the whole time, but if you just get good results and talk about good results, then you can pretty much have your client acquisition on autopilot, which is a quite nice way to think about it. So then the context of that is I just don't want to be doing these unless I'm properly ready to go, or they're ready to go.
So is your program 10K?
Yeah.
Is that lifetime access?
6 months.
6 months. So
Yeah.
after 6 months, well, you probably haven't got to that point, have you?
Just getting to that.
Yeah. I was going to talk
Yeah.
about like your ideology behind
Yeah.
retention and if you have any plans for that.
It's a really good question. It's something we don't have the answer to, but I've been thinking and playing around. I had actually quite a lot of people on 4 months, and we had 100% renewal rate on that, which was cool. And they all signed on for the same price, but paid monthly with an anytime cancel. But what I will probably do for the good thing about a business offer is like there's always problems. In fitness you can maybe get to the end of the road with it a little bit. You can be in a place where you want to be. Whereas with business, it's like, it's hiring problems, then it's ads problems, and then it's scaling problems. There's always problems. So I think I could just try and reclose them again on the high ticket. And I think a lot of people will do that. That or just a monthly retainer where they keep going.
Would that be another 6 months?
Yeah. LTV, obviously, as you say, like LTV is something that is a new thing for me. Like I now need to think about it. I'm hosting client retreats. Like I've got a client retreat in Portugal, those sort of things. But yeah, the aim, that's my problem with the 6 month program as well. I think 4 months is a good stage for me someone to want a bit more from me. Whereas 6 months, I think the novelty, it's like half a year. It's like, it's a long time. The novelty can kind of wear off a little bit. I think after 3 months, people are pretty much, the novelty of programs wear off. They looked at school communities and found that after 3 months, that's pretty much the churn rate fall off. But I believe in my program, you need at least 4 months for me to be like deadly confident that you can get enough results with organics, especially. But yeah, that's the plan for that.
Can you talk about the delivery over the 6 month period?
Yeah.
Is your promise 10K a month?
No guarantees. No.
But like the high level, even if there's not a guarantee, is that like the aim?
I don't really have one, to be honest. I'm like, we'll just get more clients into your business. There's no like, I don't really talk about a financial outcome because a lot of people won't get it and a lot of people will do 10 times it. So it's like, I also don't want people who are motivated by money. I want people to make money, but I don't want people whose only definition of success is like bringing in clients and making money. Well, I want bringing in clients, but I don't want making money. Because I think the energy you put out is the clients that you attract. Just like if you post Lamborghinis, you're going to get Lamborghini boys. So if you post about getting people to 10K a month, you're going to get people that come in and go, Austin, I'm so keen to get to 10K a month. Whereas if I post, going to make you a business which makes you super fulfilled, where you get to use a passion and a skill, then one of my clients said to me the other day that like, I could be making more money, but I actually don't care because I love what I'm doing right now. And I was like, that's cool. But depends on what you want.
So one of yours was replace your corporate salary. Just
It was, and I got rid of it because I fucking hate guarantees. They're so bad because they just bring in poorly motivated people.
Are you gonna update the course module? Because I swear, like the sole who I'm looking at now, when I'm going back through the course modules, like Use a guarantee. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, it's not in
exactly.
front of me, stop saying that.
So I don't think guarantees are a bad thing to do at the start, because I think guarantees are a good way. Look, like, you can design your program in any way. You can have a program which is, I'm not going to get you any fucking results. It's going to be awfully horrible to do. And the great thing about that is everyone who comes in is going to be super motivated and is going to work very hard. But on the flip side of that, you can have a massive ad spend, you can have loads of guarantees, you can have all of those sort of things. And you then bring in clients that attract them. So I'm like, you've got to find a balance. Guarantees are good at the start because they help. Why do you use a guarantee? Like risk reversal.
Yeah.
So right now there's a lot less risk to work with me because I've got so many results. Whereas at the start, like the risk is so much higher. So that's why a guarantee can work at the start as building an offer. But I would phase them out as quickly as possible when you start getting more and more clients. But it's an easy little hack to just increase the likelihood of close.
How do you deal with scaling and spreading your time across your clients to still be able to provide them enough value?
Yeah, such a good question. So I hired CSM, who's a guy called Geno. He's like
Absolutely
changed my business. Oh, he's the best human being in the world. Guy from the Philippines just like put out an advert from CSM, and he has leveraged me away from all of the non-high leverage questions. So, you know, I've got 25 WhatsApp chats live right now. 70% of those messages, or 70% of the messages I get, I've already like given the answer to, either in a course resource, or it's like, where do I find this module, or it's like, how many times do I post a day? The answers are there. So I've hired him to leverage me out of all of those questions, and then I only deliver the needle moving questions. So I think with the current system, I could get to probably 40 high ticket clients, maybe 50 high ticket clients.
What's your plan after that?
That's a great question. Increase price. So I'll probably make I keep consistently increasing my price. So that's the easiest way, because like service delivery is the most important thing for me. I never want to scale to the point where I can't help people.
Yeah.
And then I would only ever consider bringing on a coach in specific parts. So right now we have a content coach, Pedro. We have a sales coach, Morgan, who's my sector as well. And currently I can kind of go, okay, you have a content question, go and speak to Pedro. Because Pedro is just as good at content as me.
Yeah.
Morgan is better at sales than me, so Morgan does that. I'm just slowly leveraging myself out to only work on the things that I am uniquely good at, or you know what I mean? Yeah.
For clients that are running out of their 6 months, would you not consider saying to them, like, to stay, I don't know, monthly membership of like £100, a low amount, but to be in a group which doesn't require your time?
Yeah.
You know that client because you've been working with them for 6 months,
Yeah.
so you know their ability, and you might say client A can answer client B's question, and it's sort of like a self-learning community that doesn't require any of your input.
It's such a good point. It's the third one I've considered.
Yeah.
My fear is about basically like I tried I had a 10k offer, or it was like, I think it was, so this is pounds, so I had like a 7k pounds offer and a 3k pounds offer. And the 3k pounds offer was group coaching, and the 7k was one-on-one.
Yeah.
And the 3k one, I just couldn't get the results that I wanted, and people didn't like being in the community with everyone who was getting one-on-one, and they were the only ones who like, they had this almost, it's like segmenting a community, right? It's like business class and economy, it's like everyone in economy.
But this is a completely different mindset from the person, because they've already spent 6 months with you. And like you said, the novelty wears off after 3 months. So they might sort of think, like, what he's done for me is brilliant, I don't need the full treatment again. But being in a group where I might have a question once a month is useful.
The other thing that I mean, not even really disagreeing with you is the thing that I find with the client journey is that at the start they use the group calls. After about 3 months, they fall off the group calls. So the group calls are for people who want a bit of community, they want to like share other people's problems. And then the guys who've been around for 3 months are the ones making 10, 15k a month. And they don't need the group calls. They just need to jump on a one-on-one call with me and be like, solve this problem for me. So agreed, but I don't know if they use the group calls.
If from the beginning you set them a base fee, and then like in addition to being a group, the addition to being in the group was obviously recurring. Do you think that they just forget that they were paying that addition because it'd be slightly lower, and then they just continue to pay?
I guess I would just, that doesn't sit right with me as a way to run it, right? Like, I would never want to run a business where like after 3 months I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't realise it was going.
So the gym
But they could almost trick themselves in, like, they might not realise the payment. You would know if this, like, in the group, on the WhatsApp chat, or however you do it, like, they could still be getting value. It's kind of like, they might not put themselves in there by choice to pay, but because they're in there anyway, they might just check it, and they might get value out of chance.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I'm not saying, like, you're keeping them in there and they don't realise the pay. I'm saying that you're keeping them in there, and they wouldn't choose to leave, but they wouldn't necessarily choose to join.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I come to it. Definitely not a decision I made yet.
So I suppose you're trying to emphasise the benefit of keeping someone in rather than bringing in someone.
Yeah, well, it's all about long-term growth, isn't it, and lifetime value of the customer.
I just think I'm thinking like, yeah, no, I agree.
And scaling is just a lot easier, isn't it?
I just love the idea of high ticket, and of just maintaining the high ticket, because what happens if someone's in that community at 200? Yeah, I agree. I have this fear of segmenting the community because of a recent interaction where it just went really badly having someone on the group program.
Right.
But you're right, after having 6 months, it could be different. Yeah. And I think the last thing is like I just like working with people one-on-one. I love that. Like, groups are nice, but I love also just having a personal relationship with someone.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, good challenge.
Why do you turn up to every group call then? Even Pedro could take it or anyone else, because I feel like for everyone else in the room who doesn't know, he is on every group call, and we had a conversation last group call. It's like he really appreciates everyone turning up to these group calls, and it seems like you really love it. But at this point, you're about the fact that you should be removing yourself to go more one-to-one is what I'm getting at, or what's the idea?
I love the group calls. Like, why not? I mean, one thing I want is obviously we transition from me taking content calls to Pedro taking content calls. And I think it's just a very just making sure that they're run in a good way. Because at the end of the day, like, Pedro could do a great job, but if it's not in alignment with like me bringing someone in on a certain premise or a certain theory that they like, it's going to be an issue. So I'm just managing that situation. But at some point, I will obviously stop going to those calls.
So he's shadowing you because he was filming your last one on.
That was just because we're filming a vlog.
Cool. Because I was thinking if he wasn't filming, would he be in the call just?
He would be probably taking my call.
Yeah.
And that's just another way to give me like an hour back in time for other stuff.
Yeah.
You do one-on-one calls as well.
Yeah, unlimited one-to-one calls. Biggest hack ever. Sorry.
So people utilise that?
No. Biggest hack in the world is unlimited one-to-one calls. I can't say that I got that for myself, but like, yeah.
I was gonna say,
I 100%
when I was gonna join his thing, I was like, that don't sound right. And then like, when you obviously get into it, you're not gonna be blowing his phone up every day, get on a call with me. Do you know what I mean? So,
but it works because it's this illusion of choice, which is that people think they want weekly calls, and weekly calls are just bullshit because no one does enough work in a week to need a 45-minute call. So what I do is I just have my calendar open, and then people really think about whether they should actually jump into that one-on-one.
no one's abused it.
No,
Really?
I have to ask people for one-on-one calls.
Really?
I've started having to implement a system, which is every month I need to have a call with my clients. Because we have 4.5 hours a week of group calls, and I send big voice notes as well to people.
I guess.
Yeah, so it's just
It's a good sign.
Yeah, it is. But like, anyone who has the one-to-one system is a fucking ball ache when someone joins on a call and they've not done anything. They're like, I don't want to talk about the weather. Like, I need to go and serve the clients who need help, so that when you need help,
Do you set expectations from the bat? Like, don't book a call in this.
Yeah. For sure. And I say to everyone, like, you have to have an agenda, you have to be clear. Just like I sat here, it's like the best use of everyone's time is to have an agenda. And I think we spoke about that, right? You were like, next time we're going to come with an agenda.
That is the exact reason why I don't book that many one-to-one calls, because like Geno, the CSM, plus the task list, it's just gushing about his program as much as I can.
It's a great guy.
But the whole thing is they give you so much material, it's like undeniable. Well, I don't really need to book the one-to-one calls because I haven't got agenda, problem, mastermind in my pocket that I can go and speak to someone about. Like, genuinely everything is so very like structured well that there's this back of your mind. I don't need to use the guarantee or the unlimited one-to-ones.
Yeah.
So I feel like that capturing that is exactly what everyone's, well, not everyone, but a lot of people in this room can benefit from, because just you think that you need the unlimited one-to-ones, you think you need the guarantee, but really what you need, yeah, it's a great selling point. I think
And it's honest, if someone wanted to book 3 calls in a week with me, I would show up to all 3 of them.
Yeah. So what is your service delivery? Like,
What's the deliverables?
yeah, what are your deliverables? Yeah.
4.5 hours of group calls a week, unlimited one-to-one, WhatsApp group chat with me, my CSM and them, 10.5
For
hours.
each client.
Each client, yeah. And then a group community WhatsApp as well.
Yeah.
10.5 hours, maybe a bit more of like resources. And then we just like, the one thing I've got one mentor who I like, my camera's off, which is good. I invested in him, you may have seen my testimonial about with him, like, his program sucked, and I got good results from him, but at the same time, it was because of me. And I wish, like, when I was in the program, I wish that the program had built better. So I basically built the inside of the program that I wished I had. I'll talk you through a few of the things that we've come up with that I think have worked very well. So a personalized task list for every single person that my CSM, we have Fathom, and my CSM looks at the group calls and then notes that, and Fathom automatically finds the to-do list for every single person. My CSM then manually puts in, so after an hour group call, Alex has every to-do that he needs to do in his task list. We then keep people very accountable to that task list. So on Tuesday after the Monday call, we'll be like, how did that go? Did you do that? So that like increases results. We've also, what else do we do? Every one-on-one call is the same thing. They get a whole transcript and they get actionable insights. We try and make as many done for you resources as possible, so like scripts, content templates, content ideation. And the biggest thing, which I'm very excited about, which is launching this week, is a full AI agent. So that is built, it's basically like the agent looks like this, which is like you have this, everyone who doesn't know about these, I'm sure I'm why you like this bread and butter for you, mate, but basically, you chat to this, you get your own WhatsApp number, which is like Sol's AI agent, and then it has this chat that you have, but it's linked to 6 different chatbots, all programmed on specialist knowledge. So like this one will be sales, this one's content, this one's bottleneck, this one's mindset, and they can just ask questions at any point. So yeah, basically unlimited access, and everything that's stored here is just all of my YouTube videos, all of my course resources. I'm just training it every single day to build it up. And all of this is to not remove myself from the thing that I love doing, which is helping clients, which sounds so fucking cliche to say, but I genuinely do, is to make sure that I'm not answering the same question over and over again, so that I can actually be like, you know, some guy tries to change his business model. That's not going to be helpful here, but I can say that that's the biggest leverage decision that I can impact him on, not like, how many times should you post a week or something like that. That's for this agent and for generator.
Obviously, number of DMs, like number of like call to actions per week. Like, do you get similar, or do you adapt per client?
I think you have to post on short form every day. I think you have to post on long form once a week. If they want to do more, they can do more. I was chatting to Phil, but I think there's a basic thing in content, which is do as much volume as you can, and then work out what works, and then do as much volume as you can in that, and then work out what works, and keep doing that. So just as much as they can at the start, and then doubling down when they start to get some traction. But yeah, my chatbot's that question. I don't know what's that question really well.
Can you go through like the evolution of you hiring and what your team has looked like? How as you've expanded and scaled?
Yeah, 100%. Then you actually draw it out, so it's a bit easier. So, as is a common theme, what I talk about is this idea of only hiring bottlenecks. So I only hired my CSM when I was like, I just can't keep up with all these messages. I only hired my setter when I can't keep up with all of these, and I hire incredibly quickly. Like, I think one of the biggest things that everyone, including myself, sucks on is just pure execution, like just doing things quicker than you should. A hiring process can take a week if you give it a week to take. So that's why I'm like, find the problem, have a lot of stress for a few days, and then basically solve them. So I guess it's like me, and then I have Zeta, CSM, VA, and content. And then within content, I have editor, and YouTube, like YouTube strategist, and then thumbnail. So like they work on the pen, right?
Where your setter in terms of like performance, like you have them on like obviously base salary of $1,000 USD. So like I know we mentioned we talked about before in terms of KPIs and stuff like that, but say like in terms of like managerial role, like when they're not performing, like when they're not hitting like specific KPIs, like how do you like know when it's time to move on or like hire a different setter, or like how would you go about that process? Say someone's not performing, how would you go from that to like this is the expectations to like, okay, I need to get a new setter, if that makes sense.
So I put my setter, who's currently like killing it. I flew him out to Bali, great guy. Do you meet him? I don't know if you met him, but he's great. I put him on performance review about 2 months ago and gave him a week and said, if it doesn't get better, you're gone. So I'm pretty brutal with it. The fact is he got comfortable. He just got comfortable. He was like, we'd made 50K, we'd done 35 and then the 45, and he was like, oh, I'm making good commission. Again, because of this ManyChat system, a lot of it he wasn't having to touch, and he was just getting on calls with people and they're pretty warm, and he got comfortable. And I was like, then I changed his inputs to be like the manual calls. So he has to book 3 calls a day himself.
But then see, I'm just reluctant to do that, some like KPIs with calls, and whatever is working in like quality calls, then if their KPI, they're like looking to meet that per day, they're getting like say calls in. You know?
Yeah, it's a good question, but you're gonna have to draw the line somewhere, right? So it's like, yes, you can do that, but it's, at least that's a...
But he's booking qualifying calls, yours will be booking closing calls, they're different.
So if I implemented that, obviously, it would be him getting on the calls, so I think that makes sense.
which like, it works. I mean, you obviously have to go through and review. One of the biggest things that I didn't do at the start, again, like learning how to be a manager, is just to have performance reviews every week. I meet my setter every single day for 20 minutes. And yeah, for sure, like front of the business, most important thing, because then it's this feedback loop of like, this is working in the DMs. You can't lose track of your front line. So every day for sure. Like tracking every week, going through and reading, like live doing conversations with him and showing him, this is what you did wrong here, this is what you did wrong here.
And then last one, what stage would you like even think about considering getting like 2 setters? Like say like if you were to split that up, because obviously different time zones and like more efficiency, potentially like split and base like 500 and 500, and you can go like 4% commission points.
Yeah, it's so hard because like, I spent a week working out whether I needed to. That's why I implemented the ManyChat system, to make sure I didn't need that. But it's like, the first thing is, what happens when, say, the first person starts the conversation, are they then giving 10% away? Like, how does that work? The fix of that is primary and general, so that can work. That's a way to split up the inbox, so one has primary and general. But then the problem is that doesn't help with time zone, because like, you're not getting speed to lead. That's the only solution that I came up with was, and I chatted to quite a few sales communities, and they were like, yeah, primary and general is the way to go. What else is there? Why do you want 2 setters?
Just efficiency in terms of like more calls booked.
Yeah, but is your current setter struggling with the volume?
Not necessarily, but like he's in Ireland, we'll say, so like say like for his working hours, like I feel like more calls could be booked in terms of like receive response, like obviously efficiency, but like speed as well. Like say there's people that like he's not on obviously, as you said, like all day every day as well, so there's leads been left like we'll say like 12 to 30 hours sometimes, but like probably obviously when we work around, they got calls faster.
So the way that I would fix that is have him managing or having like a VA, and the VA's only job is just to run every message through ChatGPT that you've set up and just reply with that. And they manage the inbox for the whole time that your setter is not awake. Because then you don't deal with the commission issue, and you just keep your setter taking the big leveraged conversations, and the rest are just like keeping it ticking.
That makes a lot of sense.
But it's something that I thought was going to be a big problem, and then I was like, I mean, where are your clients based?
So it's actually split between Ireland and Australia, but they're all Irish people, so the time zone difference.
Yeah, that's also helpful in terms of time zones. I just go on onlinejobs.ph and get a VA and have that as one of their tasks.
When it comes to an editor, why are you rearranging that right now?
My editing.
Yeah, because you sort of paused and you're like, I don't like it.
Just taking the editing to the next level. Like, my editor has got me he's taken time off my hands. I think every hire is two things. It's either they take time off your hands or they're an expert in what they do. And you should really only hire for one or the other. Like VA, very firmly like time off your hands. I could do everything, I could book a flight much quicker than her. But like at the end of the day, it's just something I don't have to do. With the editing, it was at the start, $10 a reel, so cheap. Like just made me not do editing, which is one of the lowest leverage tasks you can do. But I'm by far better at editing than him. But now I want to have someone who is undeniably a killer at editing because I've got the money to spend on it. So it's like the next level play, right?
My next question would be, with the editing side, in that stage where I'm just sort of taking time off my hands,
Yeah.
and it feels like I'm losing almost by not taking the quality, because I'm having to surrender a little bit because my editors are on that taking my hands off the wheel a little bit side of things. But my question is like, how do you genuinely just like let them do their thing, communicate exactly what you know your expectations are for this thing, so that you can just use that time properly? Because at the moment, I should be editing my own fucking videos because I have to revise this and that, and I'm not putting content out as a result. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
You know, like,
How long do you take revising a video?
I don't take long revising it, but the revisions themselves take ages. Just like 5 days to actually get one video done.
Yeah.
Whereas if I just like sat on the call with them whilst they edited and I just took the fucking with it.
Not sure how happy they'll be about that, but it's a hard decision, right? Like someone asked me about the biggest thing, like some of the biggest pressures that I've had in growing this is accepting that you're paying someone to do a worse job than you could do yourself. But it's just the like, it's almost hard to visualize the brain capacity you get back from doing that and training someone. Like this editor who I had who was $10 a reel has been with me for like a year and a half. And he now knows when I say, go and get the video of me like in my corporate job while I'm eating an apple, he knows where to find that and he knows the angles that I want and stuff like that. So there is a lot of benefit to basically just accepting that it's going to be shite, but knowing that that gives you more brain power to think about an absolutely killer YouTube video or sending those 20 outbound personalized voice notes, something like that. But it's hard. But the thing is, how long does it take you to edit a video?
A lot. It takes me, if I wanted to put quality ICT content out there, that's, 30 to 45 seconds, it takes me 5 hours.
5 hours. So if you want to post 7 reels a week, bro, you can pay someone 3.
I am paying editor, that's why.
Are you using the editing that we have?
This is why I'm running, to be very, very specific, like at the moment with the person who set up, I won't disclose much, but it's like communicating to these people is like, it's going through, I don't know how much I can disclose, it's going through...
You can disclose the whole thing. We subsidize editing for people, so they all get a $300 a month editor for 30 reels a month and then 2 short forms a week or long forms a week?
60 reels, 8 short forms, and it's like long form, right? Yeah, it goes through the
300 US.
Yeah, it goes through.
It's incredible, right?
It goes through Soham first, and then, or at least he's in the same group chat. You're in the group chat with me. Yeah. It's a group chat, and I speak to one guy, and I don't see the editors, and all I see is a little ping. Yeah. Or nothing at all. Yeah. I check the media hub. I check the actual framer, that Adobe framer, and then I put my revisions in, and I don't see the video until it's done. So I feel like
sounds great to me.
It was good, but on paper it takes 5 days for a video just because of the actual hiring. Yeah. It's just taking time off my hands, but it's putting more worries in my head.
Yeah. But that's something like almost separate. I agree that there are certain issues with them and I've actually had to manage expectations because like, as Cody says, that's like a third of market rate as to what they should be charging. So I've said to them, they need to either up their price, which means I need to take on more of the burden, or that they need to basically hire more editors. But separate from that specific issue, man, like Morgan right now is in my DMs probably saying horrendous things that I'm like, I don't want anyone to ever say that, but you just have to get over that, like that delegation, that knowledge that someone else is doing work while you can't control it. And man, I've got angry at editors all the time. Like I'm not perfect, but I've learned to just remove that from my brain and just accept that it's happening. And then there's a structure that you could follow with the editing, which is which I've been helping people with, which is like, okay, ask them for when you can expect the first revision and just hold them to that standard of, are you going to do it? And then if they don't do it, then it's a fair thing to be like, guys, why are you not editing to this standard? And then it's just a conversation. It's just two human beings with misaligned expectations.
Yeah, that's what I found. Because I've gone through several editors, and at first I kind of got frustrated because the editors were, from a different country, and they didn't get the cultural context and the nuances that I wanted to communicate. And then I realized that was actually my fault for not completely briefing them on every single detail that I needed them to understand it now. And so I fired them, but like if you don't have like a brand briefing for what are the colors, what are the styles, what are the reference videos, what are the fonts, like all that to a really finite detail, it's really like on you, I think, as a business owner to take that responsibility and like really,
Yeah.
And then if they can't execute on that, then that becomes more like, okay, maybe this is a skill issue.
Yeah. I love that. Exactly on that, Austin. That's such a good point, because I have taken that frame from now after having the exact same experience, which is if anything goes wrong in my business, it's my fault. If like the editor doesn't do their job, if Pedro doesn't post the right bit of content, it's my fault. Because at the end of the day, it is your fault. Because unless someone has purely made an error, which very rarely is the case, it's just better to assume responsibility for everything. Because I believe in general, people are good people and they mean to do what they do. And sometimes there's odd people who don't, but in general, people are good people. So taking that responsibility, because you see some business owners and they're like, oh, my business would be doing so well if I had a good editor and my setter was good and my closer sucks right now. And I'm like, stop being a fucking victim. Like just either hire better people or just train them to be better. Like yeah. So yeah, sorry, to double down on exactly what you said. Such a good frame, such a good frame.
Yeah, I sort of fell into that trap there. I normally, preach the fact you should detach from all the, the responsibility and everything, like blame, detach from the blame. And now I'm sort of saying it out loud and I'm realizing, like
Habits out of hiring does.
It's like hiring is something very unfamiliar, especially when I might be related to something, but like I've not done it before, so therefore more challenges.
Yeah.
The communication side of things, what would you say is the main important? This is my last point. Like handling people and just managing expectations, communication strategy to those people.
Over emphasizing expectations. So just getting like objective, non-subjective things that are agreed between you. When is this going to be due? What should I expect? What time is it going to be due? Something that someone, like there's no misinterpretation. Pedro said a really good thing, which is there's this like, it's normally like a thing that people say between couples, but it's something about the fact that arguments are just caused by misalignment of expectations. I'm going to nail the quote. But that is the same thing about hiring, is that in general, people don't do things because they're trying to fucking spite you. They do things because they thought this was what they should do and you thought something else. It's how all couples argue, like misalignment of expectations, I think. And then it's also how hiring decisions go wrong. So just being like, this is what should I expect on Thursday afternoon? And then if they don't meet that, that is again, you can at least say, I know that I did everything I could at that point. But if it's subjective, if it's like, just get this done when you can, you're going to be in your head, when they can means 2 days time. And they're going to be like, probably not going to happen until 5 days.
It's the same thing where, I don't know if you've ever seen the reel where it's like, I'm the VA and I think this is going to get done in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And the editor's like, fuck off. Genuinely, like, yeah, I love it. So I think it's to summarize, it's misaligned expectations, it's mismanaged expectations, and it's like you're gonna kill your editors if you don't actually like communicate those two.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay.
Is there a way that you could move your timeline so you are giving them more time? So your schedule could move back a few days to give them a little time to do the edits and make movies and maybe produce your money.
Yeah, I think that's it.
And then do the urgent stuff yourself if you can do it.
Because it's like I'm in that little window. I hate to focus on too much. However, I'm in that window where I am just in that back end of the timeline. All my worries and time is going into everything else, and now I'm just on the back burner for the content. So yeah. But yeah, appreciate it.
Everything is always our fault. Always our fault. Yeah. Okay. Nice stock check. Sorry, go. Yeah.
I was just, this is kind of off topic, but I'm curious for you, what do you feel like your bottleneck is right now?
So we worked out, it's gone through stages. About a month ago, it was qualification calls. It was, we didn't have enough calls booked. We were like, we want to make 50K a month. This is how many qualification calls we need to book, and we're not booking enough qualification calls. So it's very like statistics wise. Then we got to the point where we were losing qualified leads. Like we were booking 100 qualification calls because we were like, let's just book loads more qualification calls. And then we were like, oh, well, all of them are unqualified. Like all of them were people who just wanted to make money online, just students, all that sort of thing. So my current bottleneck is attracting the right sort of people to want to book a call with me. And the diagnosis, I think with every bottleneck, it's like a menu. So you identify bottleneck, you then go down and you go like, okay, this is how I solve that bottleneck. And you've got like 6 different options to do that. So it's like you could make better content, you could reduce the number of qualification calls that you have and have a really strict criteria to come through. The thing that we decided is that I was making too much like top of funnel stuff, and the ads that we were running and the trial reels that we were running were all like, be free, make money online, fulfillment, not this is how you build your online offer. So it was like a content problem.
Do you ever think about the locations of the clients that you'll get? Like, will you ever consider that?
Trying to be specific about a location or trying to attract one.
Do you analyse it much? Do you think about the content that pulls in certain clientele?
Yes.
Like at the moment, what percentage of clients come from the UK versus Australia versus?
75% UK. I would love to just attract Americans because the statistic that a guy called, is it Sabri? Is his name Sabri? Does anyone know this guy? Pardon? That one. He found that Americans take 1/7 of the time to buy versus people in the UK, which is fucking incredible. So I would love to go more for Americans for that reason, but I feel fulfillment working with English people because it's, they're people that I relate to, we've grown up together, they're more likely to be my friends. So we found that you can definitely impact the people that come with the type of things you say in your content. So if you're a bit more flexy, you're going to get more Americans. If you're a bit more talking about the rat race, you're going to get a bit more English people. That's what we found. Do I want to go specific? I think my story is just always going to align to people in the UK. It's always going to come from those sort of people, right? Have you found that? Have you found a certain demographic?
I found that when running ads, I can quite easily target certain occasions. But organically, it does tend to just be UK customers. Why UK rates? Because it's UK.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's the same, like, even just small things like saying, when I was at university, immediately the Americans are like, you what? What do you mean university? So like, it's just small things like that. And I saw a video the other day, which was like, if you want to attract Americans, you have to do a few things, which is use things that are in their language, use a bit more of like, be a bit more extravagant, because the UK person is going to be heavily put off by someone who is really flexy, whereas Americans a bit more in their culture to show off what you have. Yeah. So I think you can craft people, but there's a part of me, I had a massive limiting belief that like that 1/7 of the time fact plays into my limiting belief that I can't just create my offer from English people. And I think I've found that you can bring the right English people in if you go for guys who have been in sales jobs or if you go for people who are like 30 and older. But I was just finding at one point that the objections on English people are just fundamentally more skeptical than Americans, even Australians, I think. So yeah, does that answer your question? Yeah, it's interesting.
Sorry, do you have a contract for yourself or is it just for?
I think I made one a few weeks ago, but yeah, like I'm not doing any employment laws very well right now, I don't think. No. I like to build my whole business with people that I like, with people that I trust. on non-paperwork agreements. Obviously, there's small things like leave and all those sort of things that you have to put on agreements. But I don't want to build a fucking corporate because that's the whole point of the reason that I left it, right? I don't want to build that. I put a guy on probation and I was like, fucking that happened to me at corporate. Like, why am I'm building the thing that I hated? yeah. I'm like, what's going on? I know. So yeah, that's the thing that I'm scared of doing. So I'm always trying to avoid that because the whole reason, it's the movement thing, right? It's the whole reason that exists. And one of the things that I've learned with hiring, and I'm sure this is very obvious to some people who've hired a lot, is that people need to believe in the mission because otherwise you can't just keep paying people more money. Like, I actually wish I could pay some of my employees more money, but it just wouldn't, like for my setter, I can't pay him more money because he won't be incentivized to work and it ruins the whole compensation structure. But he joined me when he could have made 10K a month closing, and he joined me and he went straight down to 2K a month, and he's been at 2K a month quite consistently because of the people I've been bringing in who aren't coming through this process, who came through this process but earlier. And he just loves working on the mission. He loves working with the people that we have, and he loves what I'm trying to build. And he gets on with me as a person. I flew him out to Bali, like all that sort of thing. And I learned a lot from that by thinking, with employees, they want to feel like they're part of something bigger than them, because even if I gave him 5K, like he could go and get a better deal, but it's like, what's his lived experience every day? Like I gave him a bonus to go and help him buy a ring for his wife, those sort of things. Like that's the thing that like matters, as opposed to just saying, look, have another percentage sort of thing.
Has it backfired yet by not doing all the corporate processes?
It's so funny you ask. Yes, last night, one of my VAs he joined 2 weeks ago and he quit after 2 days because I gave him too much work, went through last night and deleted my company. Like deleted my company. It's fucking incredible. We went on my KPI tracking sheet, we went on all my client database, we went through everything. He deleted my whole Notion pages, everything. Luckily, this digital age, you can just get everything back in one click, and then you can see exactly who's done it. So like crazy, but like I could have lost everything last night. But I mean, even with corporate paperwork, like I'm not going to go to the Philippines and go and sue him, am I?
Wait, because you gave him too much work, he then deleted your stuff.
That also, like, I'm being dramatic. I literally said to him, I was like, look, I think it's going to be about 3 hours a day's work, and actually, after 3 hours a day, it might progress more, but like, are you looking for more work? And he was like, any more work that I'll take is great because he gets paid hourly, right? And then I just gave him loads, and he was like, he just gave me an email being like, my immediate resignation. And then 2 weeks later, went and deleted everything. So weird.
Did you still have access?
Yeah, the problem is he had access to Google Sheets links, which it didn't show me he had access to them, but he had the raw link, which allowed him to go in and edit it. So I had to go and take all that. It's the ugly side of business. But I mean, it's stupid. And like, I literally pressed back or version history on all of them and got it all back in 5 minutes. So I don't know what his play was. And it just said, Loretto deleted this. And I was like, yeah, so funny. Yeah, but that's the ugly side of it, right?
What did you mean by he deleted your company? Was that, I thought you meant like your registered company?
No. But he tried to go through and do a lot. Like he tried to delete everything that we had on anything, on anyone or anything like that. All my finances, everything.
Did you post a video recently that really pissed him off?
I don't know what I did, clearly. Hope he doesn't watch this.
I actually wanted to ask you, because the video I watched from you, I see that you had an AED bank account, so I'm sure, assuming you've got the Dubai set up. How does that work in terms of you being in Bali? Mm-hmm. Like, so you've got your company set up there, but what about your personal tax?
So, company in Dubai, company is being set up also in the US right now. So you can have a shell in the US and then you get paid into Dubai, but you also need to set up a business in Dubai to do that. That Dubai business is 9% over 100K, but I've had accountants be like, you can get 600K of revenue and not pay any corporate tax on that. And then everything goes through Dubai. You only need to spend 1 day every 6 months there.
So what's your current personal tax situation?
Nothing. Dubai. So
you're a resident?
Yeah. Yeah. So you have to set up a business, pay like 4K a year, and then you get you set up a business in Dubai, and then with that you get a residency.
So, 'cause I might be wrong, but I thought to get a residency you would need to spend like a substantial amount of time.
So you don't have to be a tax resident in Dubai. You don't. I do have a residency. Do I have a residency visa? Some guy sorted this all out for me. Some really shady guy sorted this all out for me. No. So every single person I know has this setup, like Daniel Dalen, all of these guys have this setup, which is American LLC to Dubai company. So American LLC being the corporate, Dubai being where you're personally registered, and you pay your CEO and you're also employee, and you pay yourself into Dubai. But so that's what I do. And then Dubai, you just have to be a tax resident in Dubai, and then the UK aren't interested in you.
So you revoked your UK
tax residency. Yeah. And I need to be in the UK for less than 90 days, but I think it's more like 120 days.
Have you got a max amount of time that you can spend?
Yeah, so I think it's 90 days. Sorry, I know it's 90 days, but there's a possibility it's 120 days. But I'm going to spend. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can do 2 days and then 3 days and then leave and then 4 days, and as long as it doesn't hit 90 days, then you're good.
That is 12-month rolling block. Cool.
But I'm not a tax advisor, so please don't take any of that advice from me. Like, I will not take any of that. But I know this is the setup. From a number I can give you, a guy who's sorted out like 5 of my friends who are doing very well. So
it's just finding the person who is the most shady in the room, and then you go.
Yeah, it's just some Irish guy who was just like, I can help you pay no tax, and I was like, yeah, sounds good. Yeah, but the UK are pretty good at not asking for tax, which is cool. So.
Do you ever worry about the government in Dubai then taking control of your assets? Because a couple of people that I've been speaking to, they have all their stuff running into Dubai. However, they have had issues where they want to then take substantial amounts out. Banks are getting frozen. They're having issues with other companies. That's not
Yeah, I should probably look at that. I think I'm always to almost make this really applicable for everyone. In everything I do in business, I find 2 or 3 people who I look up to, who I agree with their values, who I know that I trust them, and I copy every single thing that they do. And my mentor, who was with me from the start, has done all this. And a few other people who I know who I really look up to have done it. And I'm like, perfect, I'll just follow them. And I think that takes a lot of like decision fatigue. It takes a lot of issues out of the play. Yes, at some point I might get in some trouble, but like as long as I don't die, life's pretty good. So yeah, that's kind of what I think. But with Dubai, that is also potential to happen. So like, yeah.
Sorry, just drawing back to content.
Yeah.
Piece. You mentioned about the bulk and the cut. How long would you do either side for? Because I know you were mentioning that you're doing a bit too much top of funnel stuff.
Yeah.
And you want to switch. How, like in your experience, how long would you do either piece for? And also, for the lifestyle stuff, are you still building in some authority there as well?
Yeah. So first point about bulking and cutting, I would say almost everyone here should just be bulking at all points, because the only reason you turn to a cut is when you are getting so many unqualified leads that your calendar is just fucked. So like, because the thing is with a bulk is you can always sift through to get to the right people, but with a cut, you're risking ruining the top part that's coming in. So I like the idea of like a bulk. I bulked until I was at like 12K, and now my DMs are just an absolute mess. And then I was like, hey, now it's time to bulk cut. So for you, mate, I just bulk. Just talk about your personality, talk about your top of funnel content. But I really like the idea of you breaking down fitness coaches. I think that's such a good idea. There's a guy called Brett Fully who does it really well. I don't know if you've ever seen his content. He blew up to like 90K from literally being an absolute nobody. And the only way that he did it was just when, this is Hamza's funnel, this is Charlie Morgan's funnel, this is Nick's funnel, like just went and did that for everyone. And instantly I'm like, I want to know fucking Hamza's funnel. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, well, I actually see this guy as the authority now. So yeah, what Cody said, just I do that for you.
What was his name, Brett?
Brett Fully, I think, yeah.
Is that the one you showed on one of the...
Yes.
Because I remember watching a few of those videos and going like, instant authority.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah. And then, so lifestyle, your question was, am I doing lifestyle stuff and am I doing authority in that lifestyle stuff? Yeah. I'm only doing lifestyle stuff with authority in. So like Daniel Dalen, I might look like I'm doing a day in the life, but there's going to be a mastermind, there's going to be a business class flight, there's going to be like me helping clients, there's going to be all that stuff, because I don't want lifestyle prospects. I want people who see me as authority prospects. Like I don't want people just be like, this guy's cool, let's give him an affiliate deal or something like that. I want people who are like, I want this life, and then obviously you have to do a bit of qualification. But it's the thing that I've realized about the quality of your prospects and the quality of people who come to you is they are always just a function of the things you're putting out there. So a PT that I know the other day literally just went from saying Aldi, you do your Aldi shop, which by the way, if anyone doesn't know, that's like a kind of like budget shop in the UK, supermarket. And he just now says Waitrose. And now all of a sudden he's getting middle-class mums who are just going and piffing straight away. It's just those small changes. So if you're not getting qualified leads, which is exactly what I'm having a problem with right now, I just realized that it's the function of my content, just like countries. Like if you're constantly talking about high school, you're just gonna get American kids in. If you're constantly talking about, I don't know, like Waitrose, you're gonna get 40-year-olds in from the UK who have got a lot of money. So yeah, lifestyle, but with authority and very selective lifestyle, very selective.
And the value stuff, that's still top of funnel, that's not the cut.
You still want to do it, like the share, teach, show, you still want to do it. I would say on a bulk, you want to be doing like 60% share, 30% teach and 10% show, and then flip the two round. So on a bulk, on a cut, you want to do 30% share, 60% teach and 10% show. Maybe even 20% show, 50%. Something, they're not hard and fast rules, but it's just getting into that idea that it's like, I've got all these people who are in here, they like me, but now I need to show them I know what I'm talking about. And you don't stop doing either of them, it's just like a shift in mindset of what your content looks like.
When you're handing out passwords, usernames, how do you deal with like security of that?
Good question. I don't, and that's something I found out recently. So I know I need to use LastPass, which is what I've heard. Have you got a good one?
Which is like, well, I mean, it's that complicated. I can barely get into it. But yeah, just things like that. And then on WhatsApp, if me or my business partner forget it, just voice note it to the other person, and then both delete.
Nice. Yeah, very good.
But it is something that like you are almost just always exposed to a certain extent. You just got to trust the person you're giving the passwords to, and just take that lead. Because otherwise you just can't properly scale.
That's the thing, hey. The biggest thing that I found is with my Instagram, because like I cannot risk, like imagine if I let that guy into my Instagram and then he remembered my Instagram password, that would be my business. Just like obviously I have other things, other methods, but that would be a big hit. But yeah, I don't have a solution to that, so that's a good one. That's a good one, I like that a lot. But I just don't, I guess it's like I'm a bit naive and I don't want to ever run a business where I'm like, oh, here's this guarded, here's this guarded, here's this guarded, because that's the very thing that I'm trying to avoid and not build for myself. But yeah, that's a good take. It's a good take.
So do you not have a CRM?
Yeah, we do use Go High Level. Yeah, we do use Go High Level.
Integrate the Instagram with Go High Level. You need to give them access to that, right?
Yeah, so we do. We actually just give them ManyChat. So we give them ManyChat's similar. Like you have the conversations within ManyChat. The problem is what I want to do with my VAs. I want them to look at specific parts of conversations and then also specific parts of people's profiles, which again is still possible. It's still possible, but it would just be so much easier to give them Instagram. So much.
Do they post the content on ManyChat as well?
I don't know. We use Buffer for scheduling. Yeah. They schedule, but they don't have access to my Instagram to schedule that. Yeah.
How much of a lead, like head start do you have with your content? Are you like a week ahead in terms of what's planned, produced?
So I used to have a week at minimum, because I think the worst thing you can ever have with content is wake up and know that you need to post content. It's like the worst thing ever. So yeah, week for content. But we've not quite hit that because we're changing content style and Pedro's, but again, it's not my problem. Pedro's thinking about it, but.
So what is Pedro's like, what does he do?
His singular goal is to elevate my personal brand. And what I mean by elevate that is take it from something that I have managed and run to it being his singular focus of branding styles, his singular focus of ideation, basically taking that to the next level. The main focus within that is YouTube, and the main focus within that is vlogs. So he's also video. Yeah, he came to my last mastermind. So he's a health coach, a health coach. Right. And I love it, the health coach. And I've got him at great rate because he's like, I'm kind of mentoring him at the same time, so helping him out that side.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like how you find Pedro.
Yeah. How do you?
It seems like.
Yeah, network, man. Yeah, in your audience, you'll have someone who's ready to
I
go.
think it's like my little brother maybe as well. But
For sure.
Just not. But I don't think you necessarily need to be content.
No.
It's just for recording.
So Pedro has two roles. He has a role of my personal brand, and he's a role to leverage, like to take away my workload. You could get, and he has a role of being my videographer. So he's got 3 roles, and this part of leveraging me away from content, I could not do that. Like I could just do that myself. The videographer, obviously you can just hire videographers. Like it's actually not pretty easy to find good videographers, but I wanted him, and then the like leveraging, building the personal brand side is like, that's a skilled thing, right? That you need something big for that. But I wanted someone on all 3 who just, every minute that he thinks about me is just about this personal brand.
Well, when you say like building the personal brand, what would a day in Pedro's life look like in terms of focusing on how?
Yeah, so reviewing, like ideating what we can think, what we can create. We then go to locations around Bali and go and film that stuff. Reviewing the editing, that's the biggest thing. Like as Alex has said, like just I don't have to talk to editors anymore, which is incredible. So then I just like he makes those revisions over and over again, and then just thinking about like he's very creative and I'm very like scientific. So he's like, so I just can't make creative content. And I realized that the biggest thing that was stopping me from being at the next level was a massive personal brand, like a personal brand which is like to the size of Daniel Dalen's personal brand. And that's where I want to take mine, because at that point, like this is just incredible. Yeah. So that's basically what it is. Pedro, we're talking about what your job is, mate. What would you say has been the most leveraged or the most impactful thing that we've worked on together? Yeah. Nothing, mate. We just chilled.
I mean, a lot of stuff with self-limiting beliefs, a lot of stuff with the closing process from follower to...
No, wait. No. What we've done for my brand. Oh. Yeah.
I guess focusing on authority is a huge one, for sure. Even trying to capture more of that authentic stuff, especially over the last few weeks. I don't know, managing the team as well, expanding, hiring higher quality individuals.
Yeah. What are your thought processes during the day, like in terms of pushing the needle forward for Sol's personal brand? Like, yeah, what do your thought processes look like?
That's a good question. It's my turn to be interviewed.
Because I'm interested, because I love that. I've always thought like it just seems so easy to like and natural to build a personal brand when you have someone with you all the time. And like just having the camera rolling whenever you need it to, without even having to think about it.
I think I'm going to answer your question differently, because I think the pre-requirement for a relationship that we have is that, like, even though we became like business associates, let's say first, like we have an amazing friendship. And so any influencer or personality that I've seen to try and have a videographer, if they don't have that level of connection, intimacy, and empathy even, it just doesn't fucking work.
Of course,
And so you need to have that friendship first and foremost, because then even the questions that I ask, they're in the right context. Like we bounce off each other, and it can be something as silly as like us having lunch and talking about some random stupid shit, and then go, oh bro, we should record this, or having like really deep conversations and being more tactical about it, reverse engineering other creators that are kind of in the top of the space. And I mean, I think focusing on that singular focus that he talks about, I'm very sporadic. I have a lot of different focuses. I have 3 businesses. I have a lot of where my attention kind of diverts, and he helps me kind of organize everything and be more singular. With that kind of guidance from him, then it's really easy to just start indoctrinating yourself on that one thought, one plane, to then just try and double down and focus on that one thing. Right now, it's like the vlogs, the content, the conversion with content itself. So yeah, sorry, I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah. So was the move to hire and work with Pedro, did that just fall into place, or was it something you pre-planned?
No, pre-planned. Actually, I put like a thing up on Instagram and Pedro was like, yeah, I'm keen. And I was like, done. Like, basically, in my head, obviously, I strung it out for a few days, but I was like, no, obviously, I'm keen. I was playing a little bit hard to get. I was like, man, I've got so many applicants. I need to sort through them all. This was part of the play, which I realized that, firstly, everyone who I admired had put so much time into creating an ecosystem around themselves where people just trusted them, again, like this, so much. And I was like, the only way I can do that is by bringing someone else on. I can't do that all by just having a camera here and just filming myself. I mean, I want to say to everyone in the room, you can to a certain extent. Like, it's not something at 0 to maybe 50 you should be thinking about, but the next level, yes. And then someone is like I realized that I needed a second brain to ideate and help me think about those things that were so important. Like, I don't give a shit about branding colors and stuff, but I know they're important. I don't give it, like, I can't deal with that stuff. And Pedro's so good at, he's made a color palette, whatever, is it color palette? Like, whatever that is, like, that sort of stuff, which I know is important, but I could just never do myself. And it comes to do with this mission that I'm thinking of, which is this, like, if I want to get to 1 million a month, it needs to be a mission that people join me on. And if I'm posting one bit of content which has this color and this color, and it's just building, like, yeah, even like, and this can be a bit of a controversial take, but like Andrew Tate, I don't admire anything he says, but I admire the way he markets. And he has a team behind this marketing thing. And I think you just look at someone like him, someone who's, like, I don't want to be at that level, but at the same time, how do they do it? They built a brand, and that's what I needed help with. And like, could I scale my business without a YouTube strategist and without Pedro? Like, Pedro won't mind me saying I think I can, but if I want to build a brand, I don't think I can.
Even getting 15 people, I mean, I don't know how many people are here, but like, how did that work? Because we're all in Bali. I mean, I know part of your brand, from what I've seen, is kind of Bali centered, right? Because you spend a lot of time here. So are these all organic?
Yeah, I think so. I think mostly just through organic content, basically. Like, I'll be the easiest way to find people in Bali is to put up a story in the morning at Bali and then go and see everyone that's viewed it and go and message you all. The easiest way to do it. So I was just like, who's there? These look cool. Let's just offer them like some value at a mastermind, see if they're keen for it. But yeah, I think, does that answer that question? I think it's a great idea. I think so. Great content as well. It's the overall play. The first mastermind I did was about authority. This one is just about, like, this is the best part. I was chatting to Phil, I want to build an events business as well as a coaching business. I want to do both, and I want to have an ascension. So it's like, you join my program, but then I'm hosting a client retreat in a month's time in Portugal. Just have all those things, because this is the shit that we all like, right? Like, you get to connect with people who think the same, who don't have all the bullshit that we have back home. That's what everyone loves about this stuff. And like, being a facilitator of that has been great when I've been in the room with other people, and I want to do the same, So wait, on that wholesome note, I want to make sure, as I promised from the start, because I have no idea what time it is, but when I promised from the start, has anyone got any last questions they want to answer? We definitely have time, so please ask, but let's cap that off.
In the system, after the qualifying call, the things that you send out, there are third things you send off at the moment.
YouTube video, pre-sale asset, testimonial YouTube video. Have you watched this at the start of the closing call? If you haven't watched it, I will literally get up the pre-sale asset and watch it with them on the call.
Is it always the same YouTube video, or is it
No, personalized.
As in to solve a specific problem.
Yeah. So if they're like, I need more followers, that's how I'm going to make more money. It's a video, which is like, this is how you get more followers. If it's like, I can't seem to close, it's a video about that. It's like just personalized advice.
And is it unlisted or public?
All public, just all public videos. And with the idea, just watch as much content. And the guy who closed yesterday, he just said he watched my 30-minute video of how the system that I built, and he just finished that video and was like, I'm buying whatever the price is. Yeah.
In the many chat system on Instagram, you mentioned that you message people who like follow you or comment or however it works. You then send them a video on the second part of it. Is that video on Instagram or is it linked to YouTube?
On Instagram.
And how long's the video?
So the follower message one, I actually should be more precise about that. So the follow message, we send a video in Instagram, so it looks like it's been sent literally like you can only open it by clicking on it like that. And the amount of people who message me be like, thanks so much for the personalized video. And I'm like, come on, like surely you've known it. Yeah. So they feel like they're getting a personalized video. And then they go to the mini VSL after that on the follower chain. So there's not a video in the middle, but on all the other ones, there is a video in the middle, which connects the two.
And the mini VSL, is that just a video on Instagram?
Yes.
So at no point are you taking them to YouTube? And you wouldn't recommend that just because of the whole monkey brain thing?
Yeah. Remove like the concepts that I have with DM setting is speed to lead and remove friction and personalization. So if someone feels like they're getting a personalized message, which is the click on the video, it's personalized. Speed to lead, which is like as soon as they replied, we do like a 45-second timer, but then they get the video, so it feels like Sol's on this quickly. And then the other thing is it's many chatted, so yeah, it's easy. It's easy for them to respond. They don't have to respond with a paragraph, they just have to respond with a word, and then they get moved to the next stage. Yeah, because like people don't want to feel like they're in the middle of a many chat. Yeah.
So it's not an AI agent.
No, it's not. It's all like conditionally formatted, basically. So like, if this happens, do this. If this happens, do this.
Why would you not want a chatbot?
I just haven't looked into it. It's probably a good idea. It's probably a good idea, but I just don't know if you can you automate? Yeah, so definitely do that, but I don't know if you could set up this system.
So I was saying, if someone messages outside the parameters of the many chat, do you have it so that your intervenes?
Yeah. So he basically then goes through and just looks through all the chats, and if someone's going through the many chat, he leaves them alone. But if someone has read and not replied, then it's like, oh, by the way, did you catch this video? Yeah. And big, awesome way to do follow-up that we found in the last few days, either yourself or your setter, take a photo of yourself and send it in the chat as like, it feels like, again, like a personalized message. So like a face of you being like, did you catch this, by the way? Or something like that. And it feels like I've gone onto my phone. I'm like, this guy didn't reply. I'm gonna send him a selfie and do that. And the reply rate on that is through the roof. Almost everyone replies to that.
Text attached.
Sometimes text attached, but my setter has like a library of 10 selfies of me that he chooses depending on what emotion is needed. But the reply rate is incredible, and one of the biggest things that we find is just trying to get people to fucking reply on their DMs. We send memes to people, we send everything under the sun to try and get people to reply. And the amount of people who I've closed who we've been on like follow-up number 8, and then they get on a call and then they pay because it's just like, they were doing the laundry or whatever and stuff like that.
What would you say with your system, based on your experience, is the average cold lead to closed?
60 days. All good? 60 days. 60 days. But like the guy who I closed yesterday was a day and a half. It's 60 days, but variable. Yeah.
And how many times they watch?
Yeah, exactly. But he didn't he actually didn't watch 7 hours of my content. He didn't watch a YouTube video until we'd sent it to him on the...
More than 10K a month?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so he's a fast decision maker. Yeah. Okay.
Was he American?
No, it's incredible, man. It's an English person.
Or like YouTube, when you're like starting out, I always say at my first like 5 videos, but obviously you can see the value in it like 100% tenfold. But like, what would you recommend strategy-wise for like just to get that first bit of traction behind it? Like, I'm focusing on thumbnails, but like descriptions not, and then like just like.
Yeah, that's actually a good point you make. So like, I guess there's 2 things. There's like the strategies and the tactics behind it, and then there's just the ideas. With the ideas, it's similar process to authority and ICP, but the best ones work, especially for our niche, which is just this overall system. This is the system that I've built. This is what it looks like. These are the steps. What Alex said about wow, not how. So you just want to overload people with information to the point where like authority. And then the biggest thing with YouTube, like I did a whole London mastermind on YouTube, so I could spend a lot of time on this. And hopefully you guys all got the resources about YouTube and how to read through it as well. But literally the only two things you need to focus on are CTR and average watch time. CTR, is the thumbnail good and is the title good? Because if people don't click on it, they're not gonna watch the video. And then once you've got someone to click, pay off in the first 10 seconds and then just an engaging video. And once you nail that, your video blows up.
And off the back end of that, like, I don't think you do, but like, would you ever upload those to like, let's say Spotify as a podcast as well? Because I know like there's obviously a large percentage of people who wouldn't be visual, but like they're on in the car, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, it's for sure 100. No, it's a great idea. I think like maybe I'm too stubborn about this, as Pedro said, but I'm just like, yeah, I could also do LinkedIn and I could also do email and I could also transcribe and then put it on TikTok. But I'm just like, YouTube, Instagram, 1 million a month. I don't see any reason why I can't do that. Yeah.
You mentioned earlier you were putting some VSLs together. Where do you plan to distribute?
Only place I'm going to put them right now is in my Instagram bio. Because, and you're the expert on this to be fair, but the only reason I'm thinking about that is because I realize that I'm getting 2 million views on my profile a month and they have nowhere to go other than press build and then book in that way. But they're not, like we found that the direct bio, the hit rate is pretty low. Like people will say the keyword like to work with me and then they won't book in, we'll have to chase them up. There'll be poor quality leads because there's someone just trying to like find out what's going on. VSL, on the other hand, will take those qualified people and nurture them more and take them. And I think with the VSL, we might be able to get rid of the qualification call as well. I'm going to try that out.
You just have a landing page with VSL and a lead magnet on there. People can pass their details to you straight away.
Yeah, there you go. And sorry, and that, yeah, I will have a details thing before they can watch the VSL. As in to put their name and to unlock the free training. Yeah.
That's what we do for our coaching clients as well.
Awesome. Yeah, love that.
Why do you want to get to $1 million a month?
That's such a good question.
I love the game, man. I just love the game. Like I'm happy right now with my life. Like I get to spend a great evening with you guys. There we go. Why not 10 mil? Yeah, why not? I mean, I think 1 mil feels ambitious enough right now that it feels like I'm shooting for Jupiter. Could I shoot for like Pluto? Yeah, I probably could, but like 1 mil a month is enough of a thing. And I think actually to contextualize that, 1 mil a month you can get to while still having a fairly lean team. But Matt Gray talks about getting to 3 million, and then you're building a corporation at that point. You're building like an office and all that sort of thing.
$1 million a month?
Yeah, I don't think it's far off. I think it's about 950K.
Would you ever build an office?
Imagine, if I do, Chad, you can tell me I fucked it. Alfie's building an office. I know, it's crazy. Imagine. My fear is that when I started my Dubai company, someone said to me, what do you think your company is? And I was like, I don't know. And they were like, I think it's a management consulting firm. And I was like, that was the company I used to work for in London. And I was like, in 100 years time, someone's going to go into a management consulting firm called Soulhide Consulting and be like, I want to quit. I'm going to build an online business. So I've just created the thing that I sought to destroy.
Yeah. What other team members do you think you'll need to hit $1 million or $1 million?
Closer, multiple closers, multiple setters, coaches, a team of editors.
Have you considered, I have a few mentors who have stopped closing calls altogether and they sell just through Doc. Have you considered that?
So funny. I don't have an opinion on this because I don't know anything about the sell by Doc. I know the concept of it, but I've not looked into it enough. I've just been told by everyone that is the like, I'm going to sell you my method so that you can sell your method on to other people of this, like trying to have a unique mechanism for the sake of having a unique mechanism sort of thing. I like sales calls. I like the concept of them. And I just don't understand why I don't understand why another system would work. Would you pay 10K off a Google Doc to somebody?
I would argue that.
I have sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say, I have a mentor that has an 18K program. Makes 137K a month.
Yeah.
Just through Google Docs.
Yeah, but it's not the doc that salespeople, it's the journey that they go through to get to that.
It's the ascension, isn't it?
Well, yeah, anyone, from my personal experience, any mentor I've invested into, it's not because of the funnel they sent me to, the sales call we had, or the doc, it's because of because of them, so, I guess it depends where you're catching them, like, where in the journey that call gets, booked. But I think if you build the right system, they've been in it for long enough and you're actually good at what you do, you tick all the boxes, like, I don't really think the destination matters as much.
I agree with that. I do agree with that because of like recent experiences where I know that like it was a 5-minute sales call. So they would have bought off a Google Doc as well, for sure. I think one of, that's the thing. That's what I mean. I think they're selling, it's like people who sell you personal branding courses. Like the first thing I did was help people with personal branding. And I was realizing that I was selling people on these intricate story methods. And I was just like, all you do is make a good video. In January. That was first how I started. And it was like, just make an ICP video with a bit of authority, which is fairly interesting. People will buy from you. People who sell personal branding courses, like they say you need to create this like incredible hero's journey and stuff. And yes, that helps to build a big brand, but just to sell as a business, it's just like, it was overcomplicated. I think a lot of people do that as well. It's like the ads guys all think that ads are the best thing to do. The organics, like I think this is the best thing to do. Do ads work? Yes, of course they work. They work very well. But like, this is my thing that I get to say works. But yeah.
So can you explain the wow to how?
Cool. So wow, like how is the step-by-step? These are the 3 things you do to get like, I don't know, these are the 3 things to do for your VSL page or something like that. The wow is like, let me talk you through the structure I used for a VSL, which brought me in 10 high ticket clients. It's like the system you talk about. You don't talk about like, this is what you do first, this is what you do second, this is what you do third. People buy wow. It's like if you're on a sales call and someone goes, so what am I exactly gonna get on week number 2 and week number 3? You're selling the how, where we all know you wanna sell the holiday and not the plane ticket.
Last question, what are your 3 main standouts for just general good content? Like, what would you recommend? When you're putting a video together, like, what are your 3?
Nice, great question. Great question. Yeah, no, good distinction as well. So I was saying to Phil, like hook, like just don't think about anything other than the hook for the first 3 seconds, because until you have a personal brand where people stop scrolling on your face, like if you're Alex Hormozy, people stop scrolling because you're Alex Hormozy. For every one of us in the room, people they scroll off because they're like, I don't know this person. So hook, work so hard on the hook. Short form. The second thing is work on payoff. So make sure that people are clear that they're going to invest. Because when you're posting a short form video, you're asking someone to invest 45 seconds or a minute of their time. So give them a reason as to why it's going to be worth it. So like in this video, you'll learn just a payoff. It can be an entertainment payoff, but I think it's better to give it like a value payoff. So that works. And then third would be, just put it through the lens of your ICP every time. Is my ICP going to watch this? Because I'd say 70% of the content that we review on calls is just like, this is not ICP content. So like, it's just a waste of time, basically.
Just to expand on the whole part of it as well, it's like visual, verbal, and static. You can have like obviously what you're saying, but also what you're doing as well. If you make like that engagement, that could be a hook in itself. If you're not like obviously pairing them together and what's written on the screen in terms of like text as well. So like combining them together or using like 2 or using like 1 at a time. Whereas like those 3 like work really well.
So good. And audio as well. I always say use at least 3 hooks. Like I wouldn't usually see it, so we specialize on this. And like the most successful videos are always the ones where you have 3 hooks. Visual, like could be movement as well. What you say, text, audio. Pick 3, and you have triple the chances for them to succeed.
So good. What's an audio hook?
It could be a click sound, or like you drop something that makes a noise. Something that's like that breaks the pattern of you scrolling. I saw a few which is really tricky. I saw this where they put like a picture of a hair on your screen. You think it's an actual hair on your screen. So you keep going like this, and you keep going back to it as well. It's really crazy. Like there's a lot of news that comes out as well.
So the other day, it was like the tiniest little like flea.
Yeah.
Just like a little dog, just like going like that. I was like, what the?
So good.
One thing I know does like really well is he'll specifically say things in a little bit wrong. Like say he's from Ireland, but he'll say like ketchup instead of red sauce, like or like red sauce instead of ketchup all the time. So that will get like, people going in the comments like and just boost engagement. Like even like using like your language, like saying Ireland.
Well, yeah, rage bait.
Yeah. But just like things that you do anyways. Like let's say Ireland, like oh crap, just add that in, and then you're gonna get like Americans probably commenting like what the fuck's crap, and like Ireland people will resonate more. So I think that doing that is like good sometimes. So.
Yeah, I love that.
So I have one last question. So, based on the fastest way you could possibly get a client results, if your life depended on it, you had a client who come in, they hadn't really started getting clients yet, but they had a little bit of clarity. Like, what system would you give them, or what would you tell them to do and focus the majority of their time on?
The single, like, this is a slow burner, but it pumps when it pumps. It's like a compounding effect. The single best way is to go and message every single person in your phone book. Like, and it sounds so fucking simple, but it is simple, is that like, realistically, I believe that everyone who joins my program has 20K sat in their phone book. And I'm like, before you do that, let's just go and make some money this week. And the people who have made quick money are the ones that go, there's two ways to get clients, which it's like a trust thing, right? Like this here, if this is like the most trust and this is the least trust, then over here is like your mum and your dad. Go like they're there, and there's your friends of friends, your friends of friends. And then over here is a cold lead who's never seen you before. So with that, it takes all that time to get someone here. And I'm like, just go and sell to these people first before you even think about bringing these people here. Because it's gonna take you 2 months to get good at content, or it's gonna take you 2 months to activate your content. But this is just like, just go and send messages to your network, which is so funny. And it's still this thing about trust. The craziest thing is that when I started posting content, the first people that bought from me were like people that I met in like Australia 6 years ago, because they trusted me because they'd met me, we got on, and then all of a sudden it's like they want to like launch an online business. But they didn't meet me in that, but they trusted me more than this. And people expect cold to warm, and I'm like, just deal with all the warm people first, and then that would be it.
Just on the ICP stuff, trying to build an agency, I don't want to silo myself into like one specific niche. So I've got the property background, so I want to do prop tech. But then equally, I want the agency to serve multiple different businesses. So when I'm making an ICP, am I specifically tailoring those people that need those prop tech solutions, or am I trying to keep it as specific but high level enough that it can be like a cookie cut for different people?
The riches and the niches to start with, like Alex Hormozy quote, just go super specific to start with. As long as the TAM's big enough, total addressable market, like as long as that's big enough, which I assume it will be, like in that, of course, in property, right? So just go hard on property. If other people come to you, which they might do because they like your content, go for that, but just talk specifically in that, make a few 100 million, and then maybe jump to another niche. Yeah. Yeah.
You mentioned about your origin video bringing the most conversions on the line. So the theory is that origin videos can make a bloody big impact. I want to get the posting of mine right. I'm curious as to get your opinion on whether I should have some value already on my profile for people to click into and see, oh, it's reasonably credible, he comes across well with his educational content, and he's got a decent origin story. Or whether the origin story is best to put on first to then have people follow.
Make your origin story like 20 times in the next 2 months. Like, just like, because the thing is, Mr. Beast always says this, which is like, make 100 videos and then come back to me and we can chat. And I love that premise, which is the first origin story you're gonna make is gonna be crap because you've never made a video before. And then the 10th origin story you make is gonna be so much better than the first one. And then the 20th is gonna be so much better. And don't be afraid of repeating yourself over and over again. I plan to make the My Story video many more times in the next few months because it works so well. So why would I not just keep making it? So yeah, no value in the origin story, like pure, authentic, like this is my life. but just keep making it. Yeah. Yeah, because you're going to make the first one. And the thing is, if no one has ever made a viral video on their first video, like maybe someone has, but very rarely. It's apart from Felix, like one of my clients, by that. But like one in general, people never do that. So the easiest thing to do is just to start posting tomorrow, and then in 6 months' time, you'll make another origin story video, which is unrecognizably better than the last one.
Okay.
And even on YouTube, I've recreated the same video multiple times and gone viral multiple times with the same video.
Crazy. Crazy.
You just repackage it, reshoot it, say some of the same things.
So like when I was in mindset coach, I had one video that was like a money chat video for like lead generation, and it got 1 million views. And I posted probably 5-6 more times over the course of the year. Every single time it got like 500k, 600k, like 500 leads, like 400 leads, 300 leads. So yeah, I think 3 months is like the inspiring time. I was putting videos that go viral, and I'll post the same one again, or else replace them like zero as well. And then just
We all have this like spotlight effect over us that people actually care about us. No one gives a shit about any of us. Just keep posting the same stuff.
What percent of your current followers would you say are ICP?
I had 3,000, so I've got I think 15k, 14k, 15k. So 3,000 were friends. That was before I monetized my audience.
So this is a personal account?
Yeah. Which I wouldn't recommend on doing. It's probably easier to start a new one, but I don't know. No, actually I would recommend doing it because it means you can activate these people in your network. Our ICP, I mean, I would be lying if I could give you any figure. I have no idea. I'm not gonna bullshit. Yeah. Maybe that's a great way to end the mastermind. No idea, mate. I couldn't tell you, but what I could say is that all of the content that I make is we look at all the people, because you can see who comes through, like followed you from a reel, and I'm always looking at the ones where all of the like info product people come in, and I'm just doubling down on them. So I can only hope it's a big number of qualified people. But again, this bottleneck is showing that like I need to, there's still work to be done.
This was your personal account?
I just accidentally did it without knowing that it was a sensible thing or not. And then I got to 10k followers and or at 9k and I was like, oh, yeah. It's like, this is annoying. So yeah, but the thing is like.
Did you hire like a editor and stuff? Did you hire an editor when it was like friends and family, or did you?
No, I just had 3. I'm just a bit of one of those people who just like social media, and I'm always like, can I have your Instagram sort of thing? But I would say like I made 60k off people who were already in that 3,000, which as long as you're in a niche which is fairly broad, yeah. People I was friends with, yeah. It's all right? I think it helps. Like it's not like I'm running some niche funnel building offer. Like I'm like, we can build you a skill, a business with a skill you have. So it helps. But yeah, that's almost how I developed this whole theory behind it. I was like, why are these people buying from me so quickly? I'm like, oh, like they're gonna trust me. It's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting.
Did you go to private school?
No, I went to a grammar school.
I was going to say, like, you could maybe argue that therefore they've got high net worth. Yeah.
Interesting, but no, like weirdly enough, it was a lot of people who I like travelled with. So I met in like hostels in Australia and stuff. Yeah.
Anyone from work? You used to work?
Yeah, that's so funny. Like my manager. Yeah. My manager, like the first start offer, like right at the start, yeah, closed him. And I was like, I remember you bollocking me.
Wait, so you quit and then you poached him?
Yeah. So funny, yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. That was very fun. Hopefully, if anyone didn't have questions that were answered, please WhatsApp me. And
Is it going to be you reply?
Yeah. Chatbot. It's not leveraged enough, mate. It's not leveraged. I love that's the impression I've given. That's exactly what I want.